Hello, everybody. I am Brad Ellis. Welcome to Frame Trap. This week, joining me as always is Michael Damiani.
What's up? Shocktober. Shockingly good amount of good games. How's it going?
And Michael Huber, who's getting up for just a second. He's going away.
He heard
He'll be
GTA
back.
6 be uttered.
Yeah.
He heard the words. Yeah, he heard GTA 6 and it was like, what? GTA 6? Let's go.
Right.
Thursday, right?
Thursday, bro.
Thursday. Thursday.
Clown day, dude. Clown day on Thursday.
I hope they just drop a bunch of 6s on Thursday on their Twitter feed and like nothing else, just to like mess with everybody.
Straight up.
That was awesome, dude. I've never seen you just leave right in the middle of your intro.
Walk away.
That was good
The
shit.
door was open.
It's
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
understand. Welcome to Frame Trap, our bi-weekly in-depth gaming discussion podcast where we talk about what we're playing and some other goofy stuff like that. Thank you for being here with us. I am remote today. I'm feeling a little under the weather, and I'm not sure if it's cold or not, so I was playing it safe, keeping it chill.
Yeah.
Don't want to get anyone sick, so that's just the way
That's how
we're
you gotta
going.
do it.
That's good.
Hearing the
I'm cozy right now.
protocols.
I got my hoodie on. I got my Elden Ring blanket. I don't know if you guys
Sick.
can see
Dude.
it that well.
That
I
is
don't know if you
sick.
can see it, but it's Elden Ring blanket. And we got the jack-o'-lantern
Dude,
Hell yeah.
sick.
back there to keep the vibes going.
Love a jack.
So good.
So we're going good. We're going good.
Hell yeah.
Gentlemen, before we get into this though, I want to give a quick shout out to our friend and London correspondent Ben Starr. He is launching a Kickstarter with some other video game people like the voice of Geralt. I forgot his name, but him. They're doing a D&D show.
Dude,
So if you guys want to support Ben Starr,
Cool.
it's called Natural 6 D&D Adventure. It's on Kickstarter, so if you want to support him, head on over there, support our boy Ben Starr.
Sick.
Huber,
heck yeah.
before we get into all this too,
Yeah.
what day are we on of GT6 or GTA 6 lookout, dude? How many days has it been since you've been checking every single day when you wake up? Because that's what
At
you do,
least
isn't it?
at least a month.
Okay.
Like when I open my phone from Locked or whatever, it says recent searches, and it's just GTA 6. That's it.
I
That's
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
That is good. Huber's at an all-time
Even though I
peak level.
know it's probably not going to happen, it's still fun to be hopeful and hyped
Yeah,
for
I think
anything
that's fun, dude.
GTA. Yeah.
As long as you don't get upset, or like
No,
actually
yeah.
really disappointed if it doesn't
Yeah,
happen, then I think that's totally fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And playing GTA 5 on the side has been very
yeah?
nice.
Yeah, I saw you stream a little bit of it.
Yeah. Very nice.
The actual GTA mission.
Yeah. It's making the wait for 6 honestly easier. Because I'm just like playing through this.
Yeah.
I'm getting my GTA fix any way I can get it.
Yep.
And I feel like after I finish this, I'll be good to settle in for another year plus until 6 comes out.
All right.
Yeah,
Until some like Red Dead craving happens or some shit. Or someone's gonna say Packy and you're gonna freak out.
where's Packy, dude?
Where's Packy?
Yeah. Well,
also,
I beat Red Dead 2 last year, so that Red Dead is like that's a once every like 4+ year game. You can't abuse
it's like
that
the
one.
Olympics.
Yeah. Exactly like the Olympics.
Rockstar Olympics.
Yeah.
Summer and winter. You got Red Dead
Yeah.
Summer, GTA
Yep,
winter.
yep.
Or
So
maybe
it's on 3-year cooldown for me.
Also, we're not going to talk about the show, so I'll just bring it up quickly. Me and Huber played a little bit of Lords of the Fallen co-op, just for like
Dude,
half an
yeah.
hour.
It's
It was
fun.
pretty fun. We like face rolled a boss.
Yeah.
It was insane how much we bullied that boss.
Just
It was a good time.
Felt good.
Yeah.
Good.
And that review should be coming up. Isla's cutting it right now, so please be excited about all that.
Sick.
All right. Before we get into the main show, please, if you would, check us out on patreon.com/easyallies. That's how we are primarily supported. It would be very great. We would very much appreciate it. So please give it a look if you want. And leave us a nice rating on whatever podcast app you're using, stuff like that. Or on YouTube, give us a like, all that good stuff. We appreciate all of that.
Thumbs
so
up.
thank you very much. Thumbs up. That's right. All right. It's time for Super Mario Brothers Wonder. It's time.
Oh, look at what
Queen.
Brad's
time.
flexing. Look at
So
that.
It came
Where was
with
that
my
one from?
copy, Best Buy.
Nice.
If anyone at work wants it, they can have it.
I'm cutting back
don't
on
need it.
physical stuff. It's cool.
Maybe Blood will want it. Who knows? But so Dami, I know you've beaten the game. I have completed about the first world. Huber, have you played any of this yet?
Haven't touched it.
Okay, that's fair
Shocking, huh? I'm working on another review.
enough. You're busy. It's
Yeah,
not shocking.
it's,
I understand.
it's the
You'll play some tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
for
It's
group
the
stream.
like it sucks, dude. Reviewing games sometimes it feels like the Animal Crossing moment again, where like
Oh,
the
no.
fucking zeitgeist is so like I'm not skipping Mario. I'm gonna beat the shit out of Mario. It's my favorite. But it's a similar thing where like I look across the aisle and everyone is like having fun with it, talking about it, and like when you're reviewing a game, you have to do it in kind of a whole. Like you can't really talk about the thing I'm reviewing, so I can't share the hype with anyone yet.
Yeah,
Everyone's over here
I
hyped
feel
on
that.
Mario. So it's
Definitely
like,
feel that. Been on that end before. That was I wasn't the one to review it. That's how I felt with Spider-Man 2, dude.
yeah.
Because we got it early and like I was like, shit, what?
Just want to
Like
shout from the
like
tops.
naming the amount of games I've played since I was able to finish Spider-Man 2. It's like, add Mario Wonder to the list. Like, dude, I've been like 5 games since Spider-Man 2. Like, what the hell? Like, come on.
Yeah. So I've played the first world, and I'll just say, so far, this game is delightful. And I am having just a damn good time playing it. But Damiani,
Oh, yeah.
you have completed the game.
Yep.
You were the master. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. Now I just completed it. I've now 100%ed it. So I've done everything in the
Okay,
game.
Good flex. Good flex.
I was actually
Was
showing-
it Bopopolis?
I was actually showing Gabby the real final level, letting her try her hand at it, and I was like just trying to like keep my mouth shut as much as possible, other than like she saw how many lives I had, and like, oh, you only have like X amount of lives. I'm like, yeah, I started with 99.
Oh,
And I was like, and there are a lot of coins on this level, so like they're trying to like keep you topped off as much as possible. I was
Yeah.
like, I might have spent like 100 lives on that last level. It's like,
so fun.
anyway, that's just one of the it's like the cherry on top of this amazing Sunday of Mario Brothers, and it's a good analogy here because to me, Mario Wonder takes so many components of the past 2D Mario games and reworks them into this kind of like new kind of like hodgepodge that just like is the best parts of these old Marios. They even like they dabble into some of the stuff that the 3D Marios have done, like with the 3D world with its like world map where they're like there are secrets and stuff and they're like hidden things. Like some of it is linear where you're going from on a straight path to level. Then there's a part where it'll open up and you have multiple levels you can tackle. There's even a part there's a lot of secrets hidden out, like secret paths, hidden worlds. And like, wait, this is like a world over here. And halfway through the game, they've made no secret about how many worlds there are. The ladder worlds, you can do them in whatever order you want. So you want to go to like world high number first, like the higher number world than the lower number one. You could do that. You could do the like last
That's
3
sick.
in any order you want. And you can jump
I like
back
going
and
in.
forth
I
between
usually
them.
go in normal order though.
And they don't feel any more like out of like place in terms of like, oh, this is way more difficult. Like this is for more of a challenge. They did their homework on balancing the levels in terms of like the flow of like, here's an easier level, here's a harder level, or here's like an open part with a bunch of levels. Like you're not going to feel like overwhelmed. Yes, there's like some parts where it's expected. There's like maybe a tiny stretch of difficult levels or it ramps up. But for the most part, you're not like going high octane because they have these levels are rated by stars and difficulty, 1 star being the easiest up to 5 star, which can be a little frustrating. Although I would say there probably should have been a 6 star in my opinion. There's like 1 or 2 I would classify as a 6 star. But yeah, they have these wonderful levels and they're using all these new mechanics and taking the old mechanics and blending them together. You got your power-ups. Some of the new ones, like you got like that water flower. Sorry if it's not technically new. I don't remember it in any other game, but like you shoot out bubbles. You can use them to jump off and get higher, get like extra height. You can hit enemies with them and like render them like helpless, so like a dangerous enemy. They
Kind of reminds me of the hat. Throwing the hat and jumping.
Yeah,
on it.
you also have that new drill hat. Drill is not new to the game, but the way it's utilized in this is a little bit different because it's on your head. So when enemies fall down or objects fall down on you, you're immune to their damage. You can also burrow down. You can also burrow up. And so they got like some old ones as well. They got like fire flowers back, and you mix these together, and like that's just like the basics of Mario over there. They
Can you change your costume?
What's up?
Can you change your costume?
So there's no costumes, but what there is a bunch of different playable characters. You have Mario, Luigi, you got Peach, you got Daisy, you got 2 Toads, you got Toadette, you got a bunch of Yoshis, and you got Nabbit. Now the Yoshis and Nabbit are special characters. They cannot die to physical damage. They can get crushed, and they can get, I believe they can get crushed, and they can fall in pits and still die.
Crushed.
And lava also kills them as well. But like getting hit by enemies or spikes doesn't kill them. So it's kind of like their version of how to have an easier mode. Nabbit just moves around normally, but Yoshi has the little flutter hover thing.
Nice.
But
Does
otherwise
Yoshi go,
yes.
Nice.
But otherwise they all handled the same. Like Mario, Luigi doesn't jump higher, Peach doesn't float. How they handled this, Huber, is through the badge system. After you complete certain courses, you unlock these badges, and you can equip one at a time. There are 3 different categories. There are like physical ones, which will give you like one will make you be able to do like a spinny jump, so it's kind of like a double jump. Another one will let you float in air, like Yoshi will do, a little sputter. Another one will give you like you'll parachute, like you'll be able to slow glide down. And one of them lets you like crouch down and do a charge and then jump way higher. So you can use these as you see fit. And for certain levels, they will make levels way easier if you choose a certain one.
Optimal builds.
Then there's like this middle category of kind of like passive ones that are, I think, meant to make things a little bit easier. One is like a magnet thing that will just suck coins towards you, so you don't have to like worry about going out of the way. Another
like
one,
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Another one will turn any power up into a certain. So if you grab any mushroom fire flower, you'll guaranteed become this power up. There's like a handful of those. There's also one that'll make like special blocks appear on stages that you're maybe having a little bit trouble with. And then the last one are kind of like fun modifiers that are supposed to make it more difficult. One is like you just like run like Naruto, like a jet or whatever, I think. And like you can run off midair, and then you can like jump when you're way out over a gap. But you just never stop running. Like you just got to keep going.
That's fun.
One's like you constantly bounce like a spring and go like boing boing boing, and like
Boing,
you can't
boing,
stop once you
boing.
do that. So they have 3 purposes. One, practical, to give you like an extra kind of like traversal mechanic. One is like if you're having a little bit difficulty, it's meant to make things easier. And then the other category is like, would you like to actually spice things up? And so that's where they're handling the variety in terms of like your strategy. So it's not the character specific stuff, it's the badges. And I would say that's a very cool solution. Though I do, if there's one small lament for this game that I have,
Lament of
I
innocence?
still wish like the characters had some slight difference. Because look at Mario 3D World. That when we're doing, it's now out, so I can talk about it. The episode of Achieve It Yourself we just did with the Champions Road, how everyone's like using different characters. Like Rosalina has like that super long jump. Peach can glide. Luigi can jump higher. Like I kind of miss that. I would hope in the future they can find a way to like have badges and character specific actions. Also, so sad that I can't like ride a Yoshi. Like I just wanted to mount Yoshi and do those like that
What
tag
the
team
hell,
duo.
dude?
They need to bring that
Wait,
back in the
what?
next one. Yeah,
You
Yoshi's
can't ride Yoshi?
No,
That's
Yoshi
insane.
is just its own character that plays by themselves. So
That's
you
brutal.
don't ride Yoshi in this game. So if you're,
Patch that
if you're
in,
looking for a little bit
DLC
of
or
disappointment,
something.
because this game's fantastic. We're about to like gush about this game because here are like these small little like nitpicks right here. Is that so? This game, Super Mario Wonder. It's called Wonder because of these seeds, these wonder seeds. Each stage has a hidden wonder seed. And when you obtain it, you've seen in the trailer, things go bonkers in this game.
Yeah, dude, LSD
The
trip.
amount of crazy shit they're coming up with when you trigger them, they I'm like halfway through the game, I'm like they're still coming up with new ones. Eventually, some will start repeating, but the way they use them in the layout of the levels is always imaginative. Like they never feels like it's dull, boring. It's insane how clever these things are. I don't know. Brad, you've definitely experienced some of these in the first world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did you think of them?
Yeah, I thought they were super sick because I never knew what they're going to do exactly. I wondered down the line if they'll kind of repeat more, but it felt like they always just did something different to really shake up the level. Like there's like a stampede one. There's like these buffalo or whatever, and they start stampeding and you're riding on them. And then there's one where there's giant pipes like squirming across the ground.
Like
all that stuff. I think there's like a music part too, I think. On one of the levels, there's like singing going on.
Yeah.
It's been really fun just because I don't know what's going to happen each time so far.
Good point.
And I think that's impressive.
Yeah, you just don't know what to expect, Huber, and it just like
I expect a 10 out of 10 because it's Mario.
Dude, this is like beyond expectations because this is like another layer they add. We'd already talked about the badges, the new power ups. Now they're adding this in there,
Crazy.
and like the best one, like without getting too spoilery, the best example I could give is there's one which changes the game into a top down perspective all of a sudden. Like the existing level just changes to top down, and like they accounted for it. And it's like, wait, what? What am I doing? And that's like not even nearly close to the most insane thing they do.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
like hats off to the stuff they did with that. And as I said, like the environments, like the world map, how much exploration, how many secrets, and in each level you have multiple checklists you're trying to check off.
Nice.
Get to the top of a flagpole. Collect all the wonder seeds. Each level is up to like 1, 2, or 3. Then there are these flower coins, these big purple coins that have like a 10 on them. There are 3 in every stage, and you got to collect all of them. And these will pay off because there is hidden stuff, extra content that is unlocked by this, but also the purple currency, the flower currency, is used to buy these standees at the shops, but also items from the shops. There's shops, there's currency, there's economy in this game.
Let me buy some poncho.
You can buy
fucking poncho as Mario. Where is it?
Badges. You can buy new badges.
You can't buy a poncho though.
I can't buy poncho, no Huber.
Wrong Mario game.
But you can buy badges. Some of the seeds are only available through currency.
Nice.
And then these standee things, which they are used in multiplayer, which we haven't talked about. We're going to experience multiplayer, local multiplayer later tonight on the group stream.
Yeah.
There's also online
Do they have
play.
a battle mode? Or?
There's not really a battle mode, but there is online play, and it's simple as going into a menu and switching it on. And how it works is you'll just be playing a level, and some random person will be able to like join you.
You can invade?
No, but it's not destructive. It's only cooperative. I didn't even realize I was having such a jolly time. I didn't even realize the person was with me helping me. I was like, that's how like. So for someone like me who's like, I don't want people maybe to get in my way, but like I appreciate some help if it's not going to get in my way. I was like, dude, we both completed a level together,
That's
and
fun.
like I was like, that's how seamless and natural it is. But they can also place these standees down, so like if you die, you come ghost, you got to be resurrected. Like you can go to that standee and resurrect there in a safe spot. So you can use these to help people out. And as you play online co-op or in local co-op, you can definitely help people through some of the more challenging levels. In fact, there's a type of level, Huber, which is a puzzle exploration level. We haven't talked about the variety of levels yet. They're not all just reach the goal. This level is you have to sniff out secrets. There are 5 secrets, 5 secrets, and you got to figure out how to activate them. And they're like, you gotta like use your mind. Like you gotta like what?
You gotta use your mind.
It's like wait,
bro.
how is this like? Where is this hidden? Like, and some of them they make you feel so dumb. It's like oh my gosh, right there. But those levels, as I was playing them over the weekend, I was streaming in this. Chat said these definitely feel like they were meant for multiplayer, but you still can do them by yourself and feel satisfied. But some of the levels are designed in mind to like, hey, you really can benefit from having multiple people here. And yeah, they have challenge levels, like the badge training levels, where they teach you how to use the badge.
License test.
Then they have like an expert test for them, which like sees if you really are good with them. Huber.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damiani, so how long would you say the game took you to beat? Doing everything?
About 10 hours. Oh, 100%. I don't know, but like I feel like I put in like between like 10 and 12 hours probably.
Seems right.
And if you don't like do everything, I think it's an under 10-hour game, which is like doesn't feel that long. And like I wasn't even never worried about length. It like felt really good to play from start to finish.
Mario games always end
levels
so soon.
Sorry.
Yeah, they do. You said there's a bunch of levels that don't they're not traditional, because I've only played ones where you reach the flagpole at the end. Mm-hmm. But you said there's others that aren't like that, like this maze one you're talking about, or like solving a puzzle.
Yeah, there's like one of those per world. So you basically have to collect like these 5 fruit things, and then a wonder seed appears, and when you collect the wonder seed, the level ends.
Maybe I did do that. Okay.
Yeah, so there are definitely levels that don't have a flagpole as the final goal. And the nice thing about this is there's a quick hit like the left bumper, and you'll bring up all the stages, and you can quickly cycle through every stage, see your checklist of every stage and see what you're missing, and go right to them. And once you beat the game, if you actually missed an entire level, it'll put a question mark between the level before and level after to give you kind of like a general ballpark of where it is. But dude, there's like a desert level later on, and like there's so many freaking hidden secrets in world. Like it was probably the largest world in the game, and I was just like, dude, there's so much in here, and I still miss stuff. And I was like, what?
That's sick.
I was like, dude, I felt like I spent forever in here, and like I thought I was thorough. Like, no, I missed like 2 things. Like, oh shit.
Let's talk about the elephant, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't talk about the elephant power up, and it is
showpiece.
Amazing. Because this is a good point to also not talk about how good the power-up is. We didn't talk about how good the animations are in this game. This game, part of this whole game's like persona, its attitude, is that they went high budget with the animations. Like going into a simple warp pipe sideways. Like your character will like duck in, the hat will like do the cartoon thing where it's left behind. They'll reach back for it and pull it in.
It's
like
fun.
the elephant like can't fit through and it's like struggling, and it does like the little sound effect when it plops through. Like every small attention to detail, like changing directions, running, just basic sounds. The sounds in this game, they did such good sounds, and the music.
Oh, the music.
Man, they are throwing in some
music.
nods. Man, there are some good nods in this, and just as we talked about a little bit earlier, like there was like a Wonder Seed that did like a music thing. Like just in general, they do crazy stuff with the music in this game. It's like it's outstanding. It's stellar.
Nice.
Like to me,
It's wonderful.
yeah, the elephant great because it can break blocks. It's like a big boy, can just like knock things over, can absorb water in its trunk and spray water. There's some levels where you get to water like plants and stuff, and these like little plants sometimes will like illuminate like special paths or just drop a bunch of coins. So like economy, you need your coins and stuff to buy stuff, and it is just all around like just great. Because to me, I will say I think this is like my favorite and probably like the best 2D Mario game since World/3, whichever one of the fence you sit on with those. Like, I don't think there's been a better 2D Mario game in that time frame. But as I said, they clearly looked at their past. They looked at what worked in past 2D Marios, past 3D Marios that like were maybe a little bit more streamlined, as well as you can see the Mario Maker influence in this game. There are definitely levels where objectives are like, there's one with like keys. It's like, okay, it's like clearly they looked at Mario Maker 2 and saw what a lot of people liked and ran with that a lot. And I think it's for the best because you're seeing a lot of people are really getting
Mario
a kick
Maker
out of
with
this
all
game.
these wonder tools.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great to turn a tool loose to the community, see what they come up with, and like that now inspires the dev team. Like, like these are good ideas. Like, maybe we could kick this up a notch, and like that's what they do in Wonder. Wonder's like, we saw what you were asking for, and like what your imaginations wanted, and like we're gonna like more fully realize that, and even maybe like push back a bit about like, did you think you could do this? Did you think you could do that? And it's like, gee, it's just mesmerizing, this game. I cannot, like in the year of this games, and like right after like only like weeks, like 2 weeks or whatever after playing Spider-Man 2, which was like fantastic. It's like, holy crap, I can't keep up, man.
Yeah.
It's like too much.
Two GOTYs in one day. Damiani, you talked about this briefly, so I'm still pretty early, but I do like kind of the exploration a little bit. It's not like crazy exploration, but there is definitely like a linear path. But you get little chances to go off on your own. Like I went down a pipe and there was kind of like an underworld thing, a couple levels down there.
Yes.
I just thought it was cute little things to fit in the Flower Kingdom.
Yeah. even within the levels themselves, figuring out how to get everything, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, Brad. In fact, I've been talking about Mario Maker in the past. This game also definitely studied Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. There are definitely elements of this game that feel like they looked at Retro's efforts with those two Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. They definitely took a page from that stuff.
There was like the foreground and background. There's like a couple parts I saw. Where you did that.
Yeah, the obvious stuff. Like, the dark levels where you just see the silhouettes, like they do that too. But there's a few more things that are a little bit more like the spirit of those levels, and they're like how they're designed, where they're a little bit more challenge oriented, and like require a little bit more precision and skill for sure.
Hell yeah, Hubert. What do you like? So you haven't played this yet. What are you hoping to see? Anything that you need? Obviously, Bowser's going to be there.
I don't want you to talk about it, but Ghost House for sure. Don't bring it up. Don't even look at me. Don't even look at me.
Yeah.
Don't say a word. I'm serious.
The Ghost House.
I've been waiting 5 years for a fucking proper Ghost House.
Thanks, Odyssey.
Yeah, thanks, Odyssey.
All right, we got a write-in from Mellow Fellow.
Nice.
Hello, fellow allies. My siblings and I have been playing through Mario Wonder, and we can't help but miss some mechanics that were removed from previous games, like being able to jump on one another or throw each other around. It added an extra layer of interactivity that would lead to some amazing and hilarious moments. Not to mention, they also removed the player character that could place platforms to either help or hinder the other players long ago. What do you guys think? Do you guys miss these or think it's a decision made for the better? Love and respect, Mellow Fellow.
So I have not played the local multiplayer yet, so I didn't know you couldn't interact with each other. So, I mean, I guess that's maybe for the better, because while it is hilarious to see everyone bouncing off each other, I'm sure most people are like, okay, that's fun for a little while, but then we just want to progress, and like this is getting annoying, which I think is the same thing about the blocks. The blocks, I think you might be well-meaning, but like you more often will not place them right, and like maybe lead to some like weird mishap.
Yeah.
I think I mean, it was fun when we, a quick aside, we used it in game trailers to do like what we called asshole Mario, where some Marco or whoever would try and like stop me from completing a level. So the challenge was, can you make Damiani not finish by like trying to like constantly drop blocks to impede my progress? That's why we had a challenge thing.
Achieve yourself, dude.
But
Origins.
I get like they have other tools in here, and like from what I've seen from the online, how the dynamic works, and from the trailers for the multiplayer, it definitely is meant to make it easier to get through as a group than more of the goofy hilarity chaos. So maybe it would have been nice to include an option to see which type of multiplayer you would have preferred. Like, I'd like, this one where it's the current one we have, or the older style. So I'm always for giving more options, which I didn't get to say this, Brad. Who the hell made this game? Nintendo didn't make this game. You know why? There's no way Nintendo made this game.
Why?
They let you customize your controls.
Oh,
what the hell?
Yeah,
I can remap my controller? What? Nintendo doesn't let you do that. What?
They're finally learning.
I was shocked. And it was a 2D Mario game of all games. It's like, wait, let's go to the controller. Let's remap your things. Turn off stuff. Like, you can have multiple buttons for something. You can have a single button. I was like, dude.
That rules.
Well, all right.
Welcome to the future, Nintendo.
Welcome, Nintendo. Thank you for joining the present.
We've arrived.
But yes, I'm all for more options. And seeing as Nintendo was being so giving this time, maybe it's something they could still work in. They do update their games.
So giving.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do an update.
Do you think the next Zelda game will have fully customizable controls?
No, because for whatever reason, that team is like dead set. Like, because I think it was because of like Ultra Hand and all that. Like, if they don't get rid of that stuff, I think it's gonna be a little bit too difficult for them. I think they'll run into more problems with people calling in or posting online like, I can't do this now. How do I fix this? Like, they probably just want to deal with this. With Mario, it's simple. It's like run, jump, and like your special ability. It's like cool. Yeah. Like, move 3 or 4 buttons around, where Zelda, it's like every single button plus button combinations, man. It's like gets kind of insane with that. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be nice if they could do like maybe an update if enough people ask for this to give like maybe you could add a like older style of like multiplayer.
Just a little update. So when we were talking about Yoshi, nothing on Ride Yoshi, in multiplayer apparently you can. So if someone's playing as Yoshi,
okay, so you can hop on them. Okay, so you can do that in multiplayer, but just not single player.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
But
so
then
it's still
there's
there
that
at least,
Yoshi-
thank God.
That's good.
Does that Yoshi didn't have invincibility still? So yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, who controls then at that point?
Yoshi probably.
I don't know. I guess you'll have to test it and find out.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
Maybe it's both.
it's like a half measure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's something, I guess. Also, Mellow Fellow, I love that you're playing this with your siblings. That's very jolly.
Yeah.
Oh, this
love
game
that.
is meant for that. Absolutely meant for it.
God damn. But yeah, Mario Wonder, dude, super delightful. I'm having a blast playing it, dude. It's like hard not to recommend it, I guess, you know? It's Mario. You're getting top tier content. Some of the best 2D Mario in a very long time, it seems like, and I'm not even that far in. And I can't wait to play more. Just the creativity's been stellar so far. So I'm very excited to dig in. Mike, I can't wait for you to play. You're going to freak out.
I know, dude.
You are going to freak.
Playing Mario like ends up hurting my face because I smile the entire time.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna grow like muscles on your face, dude, like abs on your face.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Let's move on to our next game, which is Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Marvel's Insomniac's Spider-Man 2.
Insomniac presents a
Presents
Marvel,
Marvel, there it is.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
2
yeah.
presentation.
Review copy provided by PlayStation.
Yes.
I don't know if we need to say that or not, but yes, review
Bloodworth
copy
just told me to
provided by
say it.
PlayStation.
Yeah,
Put
review
it on the
copy
screen.
provided by
Put it on the
PlayStation.
screen
Gosh.
right there. Boom. So I've played like 10 hours of this game so far. You both have finished it. So far, I think it's very good. Once again, I'm just reminded how smooth and fluid everything is. Like the way you just connect movement, like in combat, how Peter or Miles, like how they'll like connect to like a combo, like, you know, in Batman when you're like hopping around from guys, but with Spider-Man, obviously you can do a lot more because he's Spider-Man, and how just like chef's kiss it all is all the time. We're just like, that looks so good. I'm very impressed how well they managed to animate all that. But why don't you guys talk to me about this? You guys have beaten it.
Incredible video game. Holy shit. I mean,
Incredible
we're talking about Mario and just like it's, just the highest tier of quality possible, I feel like. I mean, everything, it's more about refinement than innovation.
Yes, it is. Isla put up a sign that says review copy provided by PlayStation for all you audio listeners. There it is. We're covered.
It's more about refinement, so it makes traversal and combat, which is 95% of this game, superior, in my opinion. The web wings is one of the biggest things for traversal. And I love the web wings because it works so well now that there's like more of New York, so like crossing over the water, or like even over there, the buildings are shorter. So there were some times when I was like really high up in the air and I couldn't grab anything. It's like, I'll just web wing. So web wings is like more than just another way to traverse. It like actively helps with so many of those moments where it's like, I can't swing here. Like, all right, web wing. Like through the park,
So every time Central Park, I was like, web wings time, baby. Definitely agree. And just to add in the like little jet stream things as well, like being able to like get across. Obviously, we know how fast it is to like fast travel in this game, but if you want to just like get around like more naturally, they did provide so many different ways to do it, like at your own pace, or if you want to in a hurry, you really can get across New York really quickly in this game if you want, which is just like they just provide you so many different options, which is so nice, and they all feel great. They all feel great.
And then you're gonna say something, Brad?
No, you can keep going.
Okay. And then combat. Like combat, the gadgets in the other one, you'd bring up a weapon wheel. You could only have like one equipped, and it would like slow down time or whatever. And it was like constantly doing that. It made me not even want to use my gadgets, and now that stuff is just locked to the face buttons, along with your other abilities. So just being able to use your abilities and your gadgets without slowing the action down, really, really nice. And then little stuff too, like having to have a full focus bar to heal instead of just like having a little bit and like spamming that shit. The parry, of course. The parry's sick. Yeah. You didn't need to do the parry too. I know there's a lot of parry averse humans out there that don't like parrying.
What's wrong with you?
The timing, it messes people up. Parrying is very forgiving in this game, and you don't always need to do it. It's not like, they're not throwing a parry-only enemy into every single encounter. It's like, when it happens, it's once in a while, and if they're there, it's like, all right, maybe one or two enemies. So I really like the flow of combat this time around.
Yeah. There
is some similarity, though. I've seen the trolls talking about like how it looks similar, feels similar. It's like Spider-Man 1.75 if you count Miles Morales, and like I definitely feel that familiarity. I don't think that's a super negative though. Like the flow of combat does feel so similar to the other ones where it's like, slide under them, launch them up in the air, pop, 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 dodge, web, pop, doing that like over and over. That's a thing. And like zipping through the same city is like a similar thing. But like I said earlier, it's all just been so refined. So I don't know if Spider-Man 2 for me had as big of impact as Spider-Man 1 because it was so insane swinging through that city. But on the other hand, I might say that this is a superior game.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say it's superior. By far.
Exactly. Yeah.
It just feels like what
by far.
Not to draw up on DC, but like going from like Arkham Asylum to Arkham like City, like it still feels familiar. And then beyond City, it's like sure it's gonna feel like the same, but like they're just like they are iterating on it, but like they're improving it. And I think
City is such a big difference because one, it went kind of open world.
I guess City to whatever was the one after it. Sorry, Night. Yeah, sorry, should have used those two. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's more like that kind of like leap in there, but they are mixing together two slightly different play styles with like Miles and Peter. They do feel different enough. Yeah. And there are even activities you can only do as one or the other, which is kind of like stuff. Cool. But also like it just comes out in like the personality, like dealing with the dynamic. One of the biggest challenges I think this game does that stands apart from Miles Morales or the original Marvel Spider-Man is how they handle the narrative of this game and like the structure of the story, because they do such a good job of juggling multiple plot lines. You have the Miles and Peter arc, you have their own individual arcs and webs that they're going through, and how they have all this banter at the right time, like having like Genki jump in with like Miles and like hang out with him, or having Harry and Mary Jane with like Peter, or having Miles's mom drop in and like talk about stuff, and then they have their own little personal quests that go along that line. Like we don't need to get into the specifics, but they definitely really flesh those out, and you like get really good storylines there, and they all come back together towards like the main plot line. Totally. And I felt this just did a really good, it was way more ambitious with what it was trying to do with the storytelling. 100%. And it complemented the gameplay of like being able to jump back and forth, and never felt like I was getting lost either. Spending too much as Miles, they knew when to start directing you back. Let's get back to Peter maybe a little bit here, or they were gonna force you because like they knew where the story was going, which is one of the biggest gripes in some open world games is how they handle narrative storytelling. Insomniac had, the experience shows here.
Just like knowing when to change characters or whatever, like they would sometimes change it for you automatically. It's like, all right, now you're Miles or now you're Peter. And it's just like, it was so immersive. It's like, this is already such an immersive game because I'm like swinging through this amazing city. But then it's like, Miles will go do something and it's like, I'll be Peter, and I'll just be thinking like, man, what's like Miles up to right now? Like, hope he's okay. It's just like being able to be in their headspaces was like such a so well done.
And not to get into any spoilers again either, but like as you do some side activities, other side characters might just show up during like a skirmish of some kind, like random skirmishes, like crimes. You're just trying to stop crimes. another character might show up there with you. Sometimes it is Miles will just show up and help, which is cool. And then like there's some scripted stuff where like you have these tag team fights where it's like another person is fighting alongside you. Some of them are like fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Like they were really good, really well done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really appreciate a lot of the moments in this game where it's you are just Peter or just Miles, you know, in their kind of day-to-day life. It's like very early on in the game. There's like Coney Island and them going through there and all those things you can do. I was really pleased with all that stuff.
For sure.
Like, just
remember the
character
biggest
moments, you know?
remember the biggest criticism like ever was like, dude, let me go into Peter's apartment or whatever. And like they let you do that in Miles Morales. You get to go to Miles' apartment, but then like this time too, it's like, all right, get to see like Peter's house or whatever.
I was thinking of like Village, the beginning of Village when I was walking through Peter's house. It's like, oh yeah, like we're Chris's house or Ethan's house. Yeah, it's like, but still like nice to see like their, you know, where they live and stuff, and like it just adds to that, you know, that world building.
Yeah.
And I think. Yeah, everything comes together so well in this, like the tech and everything, just to keep you immersed.
We got to talk about the side quests because this is some huge criticism going on from the social media circles, even reviews.
Okay.
The reviews that are critical of Spider-Man say that the open world is not utilized well enough, like with the side quests and stuff. And, you know, I got a big chip on my shoulder. I always bring up Mafia, the original Mafia, where this open world exists as just a space for you to play in. It doesn't necessarily have to have, you know, a bunch of activities or whatever. I just want to get your guys' take on the side quests, because one thing that I do appreciate that isn't side quest specific, it's more of just like the way the entire game like feeds it on itself is character progression, like XP, leveling up, swinging around, finding crimes in progress, finding any of that stuff is always rewarding through the entire game. Getting XP, leveling up your gadgets, like all that stuff is really meaningful, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the side stuff?
Yeah. I appreciate it not being too overwhelming. I definitely could see that there might be people who want a little bit more in terms of side activities. I definitely felt like, I thought there might have been one or two more things that are going to be dropped in there, but you can clearly see as you progress, there's like things that say like in those like tracking the progress to unlock fast travel within each borough. It's like, oh, you have some types of missions that aren't unlocked yet. They're still locked. And I was like, oh, so those are going to be it. And I guess people might have wanted a little bit more, but as you said, like you're working towards all that. I felt like nothing was too out of the way or too diversionary that it ever took me off the main. Like I felt too by the wayside of the main story that I never lost sight.
Yeah.
And they felt appropriate and the right amount along the way. Like, I'm going to make a quick stop here, do this. I'm going to do a quick stop, do this. Like, it was always at my convenience, and I appreciated that. For people who, like, I just want to go out and explore everything and then move to the next story thing. Like, I want to be, like, over-leveled, stuff like that. Like, maybe that's where some people might walk away disappointed because they don't overwhelm you with too much stuff at any point in this game. Like, you will find, like, if you really go out and try and do everything, it's like, okay, I'm done. I guess I have to do the next story quest to advance and unlock more side activities. So I could definitely see that aspect, but for someone like me, I appreciated that they respected my time.
Definitely.
Yeah, Huber, I agree with you. I'm glad this game is not like, don't get me wrong, I love these games, so it's not like Yakuza where there's like fucking 500 side quests, you know? And as great as some of them are, it's just like, playing Spider-Man, dude, like I don't need all that filler, not necessarily filler, but I don't need all that stuff. I think just being Spider-Man in the city and doing a few of the things have been effective enough. I've never been like, man, I wish I had more to do right now, because I'm like, no, the pacing is good. I don't need like a machine gun amount of quests to do to feel like my time is worth it or something. In fact, my time feels even better when it's just like, it feels more respected, I should say. My time.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting topic always, because it's like what people value with their open worlds, and it's like, isn't the like it's an open world, and like isn't swinging through this really cool New York City, like doesn't that make it a good open world, or are we judging the open world based on like how the side quests are implemented. Like, there's so many elements to it. So, and for me, it's always just like, is this space fun to be in with the tools that my character has? And in this case, it is zipping through New York, and that to me, as you know, is a fucking 10 out of 10. I love it.
And add to that,
it's just interesting.
Random reactions by people in the city when you like actually drop down, high fives. People like want it. Like there's it. Like I don't know if they ever get repetitive, but the amount of times I drop down and interact with this walk through.
There is some really unique dialogue from a lot. People will have full on conversations.
I thought that was like, dude, they really went all out.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, just to back up to people who maybe be more critical, I did think of one thing. This might be one of those games. It's such a big release. It's a big first party Sony release that this is all they're looking forward to for the year. Despite there's so many great games this year, but it's like, nah, this is like my GTA. This is my Red Dead. This is the one big game I'm looking forward to every few years, or just for this year. They jump in and maybe they're like, oh, only like this many hours. Like I could see that being why some people are like, man, I could have used a little bit more.
It is all killer, no filler for me. Like, but yeah, I was like, fuck, man, it's already over. Like, definitely, for sure, I get that. But at the same time, it's like never a dull moment in that game, you know. So.
And personally, in a world with so many huge games, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not upset about them trimming the fat necessarily. So I think they've done an excellent job. This game,
I guess there could have been
looks super good too.
Oh my god, yeah, perfectly.
It's this showpiece. It's like fantastic, man. Those ray trace puddles and everything, dude. Wow, it looks great.
Just the city, the way the texture on every building looks, everything looks so good. It's like, I
can see people say like you even swing faster because like they can like things load faster. So like it just that's why you feel like you're going faster in this game is because the tech is that much better. And again, to reiterate, you literally on the map when you pull it up, like pick like a city block with a little cursor, you pick that, it just zooms in and just drops you in there like seamlessly. It's like, what? So insane. And then when you toggle between Miles and Peter, not only is it like pretty much seamless, but like they're doing like a cool, unique animation at the beginning too, which is like kind of nice.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's been fantastic so far. Hubert, do you think they'll do DLC like they did for the first game?
I think so. I think they're ready to go there. Like the you know, you have all this groundwork and it's like, why not?
Sure.
I don't know. I hope so. I really hope so.
A lot of Spider-Man stuff already, so.
Yeah. I know they're doing New Game Plus. They're going to add that. It wasn't in the launch version. You do unlock Ultimate Difficulty. I played it on the hardest available and fucking shredded this game, not to flex or anything, but I wanted it to be a little harder. Like the hardest Spider-Man content for me is still part 2 of Spider-Man 1's DLC. Hammerhead like sends in all his goons. They have all this crazy tech, and it's like that shit gets tough on ultimate difficulty, like for real. So I was like, you know, I wanted a little more ramp up in the difficulty. So I'm like, all right, maybe in the DLC. Like,
I'm glad you'll get that. I normal did feel like a little too easy. Like I probably like needed to crank it up.
Yeah.
So I imagine
it's just like give me the hardest. If you're not gonna have difficulty trophies, just give me the hardest right away. Like, come on, just unlock it for me. Like, I don't have time to go through the game again. Yeah. I just want to go through on my first playthrough on the one that I
That's a good
like,
point.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing now?
Done, like, it's kind of pointless.
What are we doing?
Sort it out, dude. Like, difficulties in games. Give me the easy, give me the hard.
Real quick,
please.
One thing, gotta give a shout out to. So we're not gonna waste too much time. If you want to go stealth in so many things, the stealth in this game. If you want to be stealth, like just seeing how much you could get away with was so fun.
The web line was super duper fun.
I was like,
super duper fun.
Oh my gosh! Like trying to lure people and like seeing. Yeah, it was good.
Somebody just made a web in Times Square on social media. I saw they like zipped a bunch of web lines. And then they just like laid down in the middle on photo mode. They're like laying on it, just like they made their own web.
That's cool.
I was like, that's so cool.
That's really sick. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing about stealth is I can't remember if it's from the first game or not, but it seems like some of the stealth takedowns you can do from way further away. Like
you could be pretty far in one.
Actually. Okay.
You could be pretty far,
I definitely appreciated that a lot. I'm like, yeah, just Spider-Man, just zip this son of a bitch up here right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, let's do some questions. So this is from Rahul Misal. Hey, allies. I wanted to ask your thoughts on the whole more of the same criticism, we kind of touched on this, that I've seen over the years. But most recently, in a few reviews for Spider-Man 2, I don't personally think it really applies as a negative here. But what do you all think? Yeah. Is there an imperative that sequels be rather radically different? Is being more of the same inherently bad? So, in terms of sequels, most sequels seem to just be like refinements, and I think that's totally fine. You can't always have a radically different sequel, and that always doesn't work out when you do that also. You risk alienating a lot of the fans of the first game. Totally. Castlevania 2.
Yeah.
Forever for me.
Darkest Dungeon 2?
Darkest Dungeon 2. Love Darkest Dungeon 2, but so different. That I love how different it is. So awesome.
It can work out and not work out kind of thing. It comes with risks, man, you know?
Yeah. Because in a perfect world, you like Uncharted 1 to 2 or Batman Arkham Asylum to Arkham City. It's like, wow, we're just going so many more places. Like, everything is just so much bigger. So you get that hype, you know? When I think of, like, some of the biggest sequels ever.
Yeah.
I mean, even, like, GTA 3 to Vice City, you got, like, motorcycles and, like,
melee
property
stuff.
and,
Yeah,
melee
chainsaw.
weapons.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm okay with refinements as well.
Yeah.
But if, like, maybe there are lessons to be learned, and, like, the first one didn't, like, you know, do as well, like wasn't well received, whatever, maybe as long as you learned lessons and applied those and make something different and potentially better, I think that works out as well. Yeah, I would say, like, for example, for me personally, it was like Ukulele, the first one,
and then
wasn't really like my jam. Despite loving 3D platformers, I didn't think it was as good as the older 3D platformer games.
Yeah.
And then they went in a different direction with Impossible Lair, but still retaining that platforming, the essence of platformers, but like a more modern take on a platformer, borrowing from some contemporaries at the time, and that was a much better result.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a good follow-up, which, you know, instead of trying to make another totally 3D Banjo-Kazooie style game, they went with something different.
I'm trying to think of another comparison to this, like a similar sequel, where it's like, oh, just more of the same. Good. Like, I mean, kind of Horizon?
Yeah, I mean,
Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, pretty similar, right? Like,
look at Uncharted to Uncharted 2.
That's huge because you're
really refined the fuck out of that game.
But 2 is so much different and better.
Yes.
1 because of set pieces, and 2 because you're going in more than one place.
Yes, that's.
I'm just trying to think of a similar thing to Spider-Man 1 and 2.
You're playing similar though. You're playing like you're hiding and shooting essentially, and you're climbing stuff. You're doing that all stuff. It's just how you incorporate other elements into all.
God
that.
of War 2018 to Ragnarok.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Very similar, but yes, the exploration is all that. Not many games do that. So, I mean, like someone in chat brought up, which is obviously true, is Final Fantasy is like one of the few that's always pretty different with every entry. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as they're still really good and well made.
Totally.
Let's see here. Papa Biscuit wrote in, "Hey, allies, quick question. How do you measure game value? I've been seeing this talk online for years. The game is only 12 hours. It's not worth 60, 70. Now, with Spider-Man 2, people are acting like it's a short game. I never understood. And does no one replay games? Many games I have new games plus, higher difficulty modes, etc. But some people act like they don't exist. I put more hours into RE4 than AC Valhalla because RE4 is fun. After 70 hours of AC, I haven't cleared the main story, and I'm checked out. I don't know.
You're so close. Finish the fight.
Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, if the game is 5 hours or 100 hours, as long as you enjoy it, it's worth the money."
I agree.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And when it...
Because, like, you brought up AC Valhalla, and I think back to my time at AC Valhalla, I had fun for a while, but then it becomes essentially a chore at some parts where it's just like, you're not having a super great time. It's okay, but you're committed to seeing it through to the end. But it's like, you could have that, or you could just enjoy your time with all of it, even if it's shorter, which I prefer. Especially with so many games out nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because there's so many different types of games. It's always just like the context. Context is key. So it's like, okay, Spider-Man 2, less than 20 hours, but like you can smell Sony's money through your TV. The production values are fucking making me sweat with how good it looks and runs. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I bring that into it. Or on the flip side, it's like, Blasphemous 2. That's like a $25 game, but it's like, dude, just looking at it, it looks beautiful. Like it looks like it was made with love, So it's just like, it's just context for things, Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's like at what point in your life you're kind of at, like how much games you can afford, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you remember this, Mike, when we were younger, like the PS2 era, I bought a lot of RPGs because I couldn't afford a lot of games, so I had to make sure that I bought long ass games and stuff like that I could play for a while. And I understand that, but I don't think every game needs to be like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's still plenty of bricks out there.
I think we as a society need to move past equating dollars to hours.
Yes, I do too.
I really think we just all need to move past this because, like we've been saying, a 5-hour game can be infinitely more valuable to you than a 100-hour game.
Yeah.
Like Super Mario Wonder versus Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, come on here. Sure, Valhalla's 10 times longer, but does that make it 10 times more worth it? Like, no, dude. I'll take fucking Mario Wonder all day, every day.
And the good thing about nowadays is if you're curious about a game, you can find out everything about it lengthwise if you really want to know. So you don't get like, you'll never feel like you got tricked or something like that. There's so many
watch multiple YouTube videos.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can watch a Twitch stream live. You're not buying a game necessarily based off the box or like the pedigree of the company all the time.
The manipulated marketing in Game Pro showing how good Superman 64 looks.
Dude, 5 out of 5. Fun factor.
Couldn't see, couldn't see it in motion.
I know.
At the time, dude, I just went off these pictures, dude. Superman like flying above Metropolis. My mind starts racing, filling in the blanks.
Dude, you weren't the only one, man.
Yeah.
Superman.
All right. This one is from James Davey. Hello, Allies.
This is about Spider-Man still?
Yes.
Love it. I love it. I feel like I was going to say something about Spider-Man, but I forgot.
You want to say it?
No, I forgot it.
Okay.
If I bring it up, I'll interrupt you like I do.
Okay, this is the last question for Spider-Man, okay? From James Davey. Hi, Allies. After completing the Spider-Man 2 story this weekend, I was reminded about chapters in big AAA games that allow you to let your hair down and discover pleasures of exploration. That's what I was going to bring up,
exploration. Right before you said it, I was going to say is exploration. I want to talk about exploration. That's hilarious.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, it could finish. Well, it'll
finish
all tie
this
in.
question. Okay.
Yes.
Without worries concerning abundant enemy encounters and taxing puzzles that turn your brain into spaghetti carbonara. Chapter 9 in Plague Tale Requiem and Chapter 12 of Uncharted 4 Thief's End are spectacular examples of this. Can any of you think of any games that have chapters that totally take you away into a blissful paradise where combat and gamer conceits are transmuted for simply basking and taking in the sights and sounds?
Metal Gear Solid 4 Act 3 best ever.
Yes. I always think of Gold Saucer in Final Fantasy 7 because it very much is like there's like story stuff in there, but it definitely feels like a break from the adventure or so. It feels like they are taking a vacation, which I always liked.
Fuck, dude, I want to play Act 3 right now so bad. Release MGS4.
You gotta wait for the collection part 2.
I know. It's probably going to be like
part
summer
1
next year.
Out today, I think.
To mixed reactions.
Yeah, I almost bought it, but I said no.
Yeah.
I almost bought it. Damiani, can you think of any games like that?
We just literally had one in Spider-Man, which you brought up. Coney Island.
Yeah.
I mean, such a good part, but also, yeah, like those like the maybe they're not quite exactly the same thing, but also like the flashback in Uncharted for the.
Yep.
Yeah, like that seems to be like copied pretty profusely now.
Totally.
Yeah, like that's those things where it's like I know I'm not really doing anything, but hey, I can like take my time. I can walk around like and there's nothing hurrying me along, so I can even stop and take a knee.
Yeah.
Like those parts, like I do love a good like you got to get to this thing in a certain time level or you're gonna lose. But it's like man, like. To call up Metal Gear Solid 4 for one part when all the frame panels are going off. I'm like, wait, what do I need to? There's so much going on. I just want to see it. Stop making me play right now. I just want to like watch. I don't want to lose, but like that insanity. I mean, that's what Kojima was going for. But at the same time, it's like love those parts where you can just like walk through and have like low stakes. Yeah, like those like the even like in more recently the Separate Ways DLC whenever you get like a point where like you've just gone through an intense part and now it's like a little bit of walking, a little bit of like Ada just like, thinking, like eternal monologue, just like thinking our thoughts. Oh, what?
Last of Us, dude. Halloween store left behind.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I fucking love that part so much.
Yeah.
Until
Hubert.
Until I don't love it.
Yeah.
No.
Let's talk about, you said exploration. What was it you're freaking out about?
Yes. I will take that criticism for Spider-Man 2 with the open world. It would have been nice to find and discover a little more things in like some things in the city that were not tied to anything. Just like let me stumble upon a random fun thing. Whatever shape that takes, whatever that is, that would have been cool. To just like, swing up onto a rooftop and like there's a thing and people are talking but like not like creeping onto random NPCs conversations, but like bringing Spider-Man into it. Like you land on a roof and they're like, oh, hey Spider-Man, like let's talk about this, and then that leads to something or so like a little more of that instead of okay, find this thing on my map or like oh I see a beacon over there to go to, I'll go do that, whatever that is. If there was just a little more.
Dude, can you imagine you swinging on a roof and they're like having a barbecue and they give Peter or Miles like a burger or a hot dog?
Exactly, something like that. Little stuff.
I thought
like
there was
that.
gonna be like a pizza shop reference or something like that.
Yeah,
like they could like swing down. I mean, I was kind of expecting it because there is an area from Miles Morales that is technically in Spider-Man 2, but you can't really do anything. You can just walk around that area, but I was like expecting some kind of cool thing, and it's like there's some like people cleaning up that makes some like offhand remarks, but like otherwise nothing significant there. And it's like, oh, I was kind of like expecting a little bit more from that. They could have even done something like that where you visit maybe some areas from past games in more detail, I will say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's something, but it could have gone even further than what they did.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to the mini games where you hold the triggers down at specific pressures.
Yeah.
I fucking love that
that, dude. I love those.
I just love that shit.
Those were so fun.
Yeah.
Those were super fun. Yeah. And chasing the drones down and with the web.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun actually. Yeah, definitely. Any other thoughts, boys, before we move on about Spider-Man?
I'll have to say with spoiler mode.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, fucking excellent video game.
Yeah, guarantee you good time.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time.
Just a very excellent game Spider-Man is still my number one recommendation to anyone out there. More than Mario, more than anything. Yeah. To any human being that either plays video games 20 hours a day or 20 hours a decade, Spider-Man is the game that I would recommend.
Yeah. Because, in my heart, I'd be like, hey, you got PS5, why don't you get that Demon Souls or...
Yeah, I want to get... Exactly, but like, who the fuck is... who's playing Demon Souls?
Everybody. Everybody. It's like, oh, yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Easy.
Mass appeal.
Mass appeal, dude. Everyone loves that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. It's time for Sort It Out! Sort It Out!
Nice.
Sort It Out!
I still am going to go on the record with the hottest take that nobody asked for. and say that Arkham combat is superior to Spider-Man combat. Full stop.
Oh
period.
shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude.
Definitively, I'll say it.
Is it because of the knife dodge and the disarm?
The blade dodge takedown, the having to use having to use your tools to to get through fights and to take enemies down. Whereas in Spider-Man, you have these tools, but also you can just fundamentally dodge and lift them up in the air and punch them, and dodge and lift them up in the air and punch them. Whereas Batman, you need to use your cape, attack them from behind. You need to pull their shields away, or jump on their shields, or disarm their guns, or the blade knife takedown. There's so many things, and it all works.
Yeah, the challenges for that too.
Yeah.
Remember those? Those are insane.
Yeah, they're insane.
So who are you telling to sort out? What are you telling them to sort out about? Who are you telling this to?
No one needs to sort it out. I just wanted to praise it.
This was something you wanted to get in before you got to sort it out.
Yeah, before.
Like.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. You're just ready to go, dude. Figure out the trigger.
Yeah.
Sort it out. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go.
Okay, I was gonna say, hey, Metal Gear Collection, why don't you give a little higher resolution on some of those games? That'd be pretty tight. Just a little more. Yeah. I know you can do it.
Just a little love.
It's just fucking Metal Gear. It's just Metal Gear Solid.
One looks kind of blurry.
Yeah,
on HD TVs. It's
one of the most important franchises of all time.
Wish they could clean it up somehow. It just needs a treatment. MGS1.
Can you play 4x3?
It is.
It
is border. You have custom borders you can pick.
Okay.
So it's box art stuff you can basically pick for the sides, which is kind of cool. Or you can have nothing there if you want. Yeah. So it's up to you what you want. But it is just
I'm mostly referring to 2 and 3 being at 1080p still. It's come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bump that shit up, dude. That was only PS3, man.
Yeah.
The Blue Point intro for those this literally says Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. It's just that. Although I will give a No, I mean the amount of extras in these games is insane, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super great. Super awesome.
If you're looking for that, they did for value. They did add a lot of extra content for you to dive into for lore and stuff and artwork and all that.
Yeah. I appreciate that I can play those. Yeah. Being able to play those on modern platforms is nice. So hopefully they don't take them away again.
Yeah, hopefully not. Jeez.
Hopefully not. Damiani, do you have anything?
Yeah, since we're not going to talk about it in depth, I'm saving it for Sort Out. Seems like a good place for it. Sort It Out. Whoever made Gargoyles Remastered, because that game is horrible.
Yikes!
Damn.
Probably a testament to the original game. Probably wasn't very good either. But man, that game is they could have taken this opportunity to maybe clean up some of it and make it play a little bit better. But it is not a fun game to play. The combat feels very. It doesn't feel like you're landing hits half the time. It's confusing. If you're damaging them or they're damaging you, and you get hit by a few things, you're done. And figuring out the inputs feel I'm fighting against the controls a lot. Even for basic traversal stuff, I had to look up a few things because the game didn't even tell me how to do some of this stuff, or maybe I just can find the option for it. Also,
review copy was provided by PlayStation.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
got our bases covered.
Over.
I don't think the newer updated visuals look that good. They look kind of basic.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And they're not that impressive.
They're doing a live action thing now for Gargoyles.
What?
Gargoyles is doing a live action show or movie. It's making a huge comeback, dude. Gargoyles.
Hopefully that does better. The rewind functionality, man, is like a discount. It's like discount rewind. It's one, you hit it, you're going back. You can't undo it. There's no points. I'm so spoiled by Nintendo with the rewind to different points. You could go forward, go backwards, and then you have to confirm that you want to rewind. It's just you hold down the rewind button, it's gonna go. And this is a game where you have finite lives and you have to start all the way over from the beginning if you get game over or whatever. So
oh my god,
it's a brutal old school Genesis game.
Hell yeah.
It will test your patience. It really is if you just want a version of this, because it does have the OG visuals and sounds and stuff. So if you just want an accessible version, if you're a retro game historian or collector and you just need a version of this game for whatever purposes, then go ahead and get this. If you're just a huge Gargoyles fan, have to have everything Gargoyles, sure, get this. For everyone else, just stay clear of this. And this being standalone, why wasn't this included as part of some Disney collection, like the Disney Afternoon collection? Like, big misfire here, not padding this into.
They were swinging for the Gargoyles profits, dude. Gargoyles is legit poised to make a big comeback. I'm not even kidding.
Bad timing.
It was. It was bad timing, and the game is bad, so they effed up. But like, this could have been a home run. It could have been if the
Probably
game
what
was
they
good.
were thinking.
Because
And
Gargoyles, dude, it's fucking hyped right now.
and no good extras. Like with
Disney
the,
Plus.
with Digital Eclipse and what they're doing with their like bonuses and extra features for these like retro revivals, like this is so bare.
Cowabunga
bones.
collection, dude.
Like
Incredible.
like what they're doing
All
with
the
some of those.
boxes
It's
and
like,
stuff.
come on, like you got to like step up this a little bit. So this just felt like very low effort.
I'm looking at this on Steam right now, Damiani. It's mostly positive with 11 reviews.
11
let me read you one.
reviews.
Too
Let
small
me
a size.
read you a couple of these positive reviews, okay?
Okay.
I spent 6 years trying to beat this as a kid. Can't wait to never finish it again. Positive review. Another one. Better than Diablo 4. Positive review. That's the kind of
so
shit we're
funny.
getting here.
That is so funny,
Yes.
dude.
Positive review.
This is just memes at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
My sorted out
Yeah.
is actually a Diablo. Well, more than Diablo. It's prices. Sort it
Okay.
the fuck out, okay?
Okay.
In no reality should a fucking horse skin cost $25 in your already $70 video game.
Mike, what if I told you the mounts in World of Warcraft were already $25 for years
But
in an
don't
MMO?
don't some of those go to like charity and stuff?
Some
with
mounts.
those ones?
Some mounts
Yeah.
do. Some mounts
But not
are
all
not.
of them.
Nope.
Yep. Sort it out,
You
dude.
just-
Sort these
you
prices out.
You got to taste the reality, dude. That
You
Bobby
get a-
Kotick reality.
Horse mount skin, or you can get Separate Ways DLC.
Or Hollow Knight. All of Hollow Knight or horse skin.
Yeah, dude, please just buy Hollow Knight. Please don't
Yeah.
even entertain any of these other things.
Yeah.
Just please.
Yeah.
There should be like
Please
an
buy Hollow
extension
Knight.
to your web browser or whatever that says when you're going to click something as the value of Hollow Knight. It's like it just pops a reminder you could buy Hollow Knight for this price.
And I know I
Yeah,
bought a lot
Huber.
of Fortnite skins, I know, but the difference is that game is free to play. It's a free game.
True.
And it is very generous with its V-Buck give back. You know, you buy the Battle Pass, you get a lot of V-Bucks back. Whereas,
Diablo.
dude, that Diablo Battle Pass, man, I did Season 1 and it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was absolutely slow and brutal.
Not
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah.
didn't like earn any money back on that thing. It was insane.
The fact that the mount also is invincible, which is Arthas's mount, is hilarious to me. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing, dude.
Yeah.
You're
100%.
into Arthas fans, dude. Like the glory
100.
days of fucking Warcraft, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, Blizzard. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what, everybody? Even with Microsoft buying them, it's not going to stop.
Nope.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Phil don't give a fuck.
No.
It's
World
gonna
of
make that
Warcraft
cash.
2 is never coming.
Oh no, dude! Don't say that. I can't handle that. That's too
It'll
much
come.
for me.
Do you think it'll be
So-
announced this decade?
No,
Yeah, I don't think so.
no. I hope it's announced when I'm alive. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, dude. Let's get some sorted outs from the audience. We got Tim O'Keefe
Excellent.
here. This may be a long one. Apologies in advance. The City Skylines 2 team came out with a statement before the game came out that it did not hit its performance benchmarks they wanted. However, they still decided not to delay the game on PC. Last I saw, using an RTX 4090 on high settings in 1080p ran at 38 frames per second, and on 1440p it ran at 29 frames per second. Now, I don't think this is the worst, or I don't think this is worse than those who just release broken games and give a statement after that they'll fix it. But the fact that we've gotten to a stage where we're actually getting pre-release statements about fixing games is generally unacceptable. This has to stop. Stop releasing games in the state. Delay your games. It is getting crazy now. Dawn, if you are there, please chime in. If you are there.
I'd love to chime in, Brad. I'd love to chime in on
Please
this. I actually
do.
do want to chime in because this is an important thing to address. Right now, everyone is dogpiling on City Skylines 2.
Just IGN. Just IGN.
No, Huber. I looked it up today because I had to say. I said, are other people out of line like this? Other people are out of line, Huber. It's got like a 5 out of 10 on Steam or something.
Wow.
Okay. This is insanity, and I want to say why. Because yes, performance is important. Yes, 60 frames per second is important. Yes, we don't want graphical anomalies. However, if there is one type of genre of game or game that kind of stuff actually is almost meaningless on a launch, it's this. It's City Skylines 2. The game, the simulation aspect, the functions, the mechanics, I have had zero trouble with. And yes, as my city grows, I've gotten more and more, graphical anomalies, et cetera, frames per second. Yes, the cars are popping along at whatever frames per second. But you know what? It hasn't taken away like one single shred of fun or enjoyment. It hasn't ruined any part of the city building aspect, the simulation aspect. All throughout time, this genre has never, until recently, sometimes there's been moments when you're like, wow, this is a really nice looking sim game. But usually they're not always the most cutting edge visually in terms of genre. Unless it's like a design simulator, something more like a Jurassic World Evolution, there's very light sim aspects at play. So I just think it's important for people. I wish they would differentiate because I feel terrible for this team and stuff because I think City Skylines 2 is an excellent game and it's an excellent foundation. And launching it now is fine. All this stuff that people are having problems with, it's guaranteed that it's going to be a patch and it's not going to interfere with gameplay at this moment in time unless you really have an issue at that. I haven't had any issue dealing with this visual stuff, okay? The game
It did look a little framey when
intact.
I saw you playing
You're
it. You're
right, Hubert. It's a lot framey sometimes. You should see now. Now that my city's gone to multiple islands, it's a lot framey. Like I said, traffic, these cars are just kind of jumping along in but you know what? I'm being 100% honest. I'm firing it up every single day. It doesn't bother me because the game functions. Everything that needs to function is functioning. Okay?
Has a 76 on Metacritic. Generally favorable reviews.
Yeah, this game deserves a 95. Okay?
Hey Don, out of 51 critic reviews, Don, there's only one negative review.
Okay, well, I don't know. Well, that's great news. So maybe I can calm down a little. But I was very upset about this, that people are being so harsh on this game in particular, because it's like, come on, pick something, you know what I mean? And they're not really talking. I mean, maybe they are, maybe they are talking about the good aspects of it. But I've been loving this game, and I feel like I need to just close off the world and ignore it because it bums me out so much that people are just shredding it because of stuff that it's like, this isn't like mechanical. Cyberpunk had all kinds of buggy stuff that would interfere with gameplay. I haven't come across with one single thing that has interfered with anything other than I sit there and I want to look at it and trees are blinking and stuff, whatever. It's like the game is fun as hell though, all right? And it's working. So anyway, I don't know. Hopefully things will turn around fast for them because if this game ends up not doing well, I think over time it will. It's just a bummer that the launch is going to be knocked for this. Even 60 frames, it's like who cares for this game? Seriously, it doesn't matter if it's running at 30 frames. Who cares?
Shout out to Italy, dude.
It's
IGN
a sim game.
IGN 6 out of 10. IGN Italy 8 out of 10.
There we go. I'm moving to Italy.
Dude, how many
Pick up some
IGNs do they have? It's fucking crazy.
There's at
global.
least 5 or 6.
IGN Brazil.
Yeah.
IGN's everywhere, man.
Yeah, IGN UK, right?
Dawn, thank you for that passionate defense.
Yeah, Dawn.
Thank you for the forum.
I want to watch you stream it, Dawn.
Feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
I want to watch you stream it badly. That's like the Sunday afternoon Dawn City Skyline stream. Dude, I'd watch that for 5 hours.
I'm going to keep streaming.
Hell yeah.
I assume this game came out because it costs a lot of money to delay a game. It's like a big freight train rolling down the tracks, and to delay it, man, you gotta slam on those brakes because the marketing machine has already planned on that day So it sucks. It's shitty. We definitely need to hold game companies accountable to deliver games that work properly. But on the flip side, I can understand why they did this, and at least, I mean, release a fixed game, sure. Yeah. But at least they came out before to address it and be like, "Yo,
yeah, that's
you know." Point. It wasn't just like, "Hey, we're gonna put this out and hopefully we weather the storm or something, or we patch it in time."
Yeah,
but
I guess the only small counter is like with so many things coming out. I know this is a different audience for this game, so like this could be like these people, the audience for this were just looking for this game and maybe not a lot of other games coming out this year. Yeah. But yeah, with such a crowded month and window right now, it is harder to retain people who aren't already invested. Like they're definitely the fans who are invested, like Dawn, who's like, I know they've been transparent, they're gonna fix it, it's coming, I know, and it's playable now, so it's fine. But there'll be people out there who like do care maybe a little bit more about their visuals and like, man, like this feels like rushed or whatever. Like that's just their opinion, and they just don't think it's worth their time right now. They move on, and then it's so hard to get them back. Whereas like a delay where like it came out and it's like, oh, it is as playable, maybe even better, polished up, and looks great. I mean, you want to try and hit that. And I think City Skylines, the pedigree, I'm someone who's really played this series, but I just hear great things. I mean, we have Dawn here who's like singing its praises, but ever since the demise of SimCity, this has kind of been like this and like what Tropico are like the ones who have stepped up. And I think City Skylines in particular is the one that's been viewed as like the one to inherit the throne, the crown. And I think that puts higher expectations on a game like this. And people, I know it feels like it was long ago, but like SimCity debacle, like people don't want to see that happen again in this genre. So it's good to hear, Don, though, that like it's not fundamentally broken or anything. It plays just fine. It's just performance issues.
Optimization.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the issues with the SimCity 2013 or whatever were so much more problematic than this stuff. And also just like, that's an interesting thing to point out is like, just if we're talking about visuals, like SimCity 2013 or whatever, like, yeah, it looked nice, but like, I don't know, Skylines 2 is clearly making like a big swing on visuals in terms for a sim, especially with the scale of the playable region that you get. And I can't even imagine, I mean, I still can't imagine with the patches how this is going to run at high level when you have a fully filled out region of like Megalopolis. It's like, so it'd be nice if people gave them like a little bit of like, whatever, just like leeway in it, because it really is visual.
It's so wild,
It's all visual stuff for this. And like to get, and with the sim, just the complexity of the system running underneath, the way that it works so well, you'd be like, don't they deserve some credit for nailing that? It's like that's what the core of the game is, and you see this visual stuff is there. They just need to work out the kinks,
You bust your ass for like over 5 years making this thing, labor of love. You run out of time and like, okay, it's not running the best, but we'll get there. And immediately everyone is just like, fuck you, cancel your game, I'm out. Like,
it feels
bad. Where is the goodwill? Dude, where is the empathy?
Yeah, it feels bad, Huber. I think it'll weather it anyway, because everyone knows a game like this. I mean, that's how the first City Skyline was. It's like an endless, roadmap of additional mods they're going to add on and this and that improvements anyway for the nature of the game. But it is a bummer because it's going to put a big damp, just going to damp the launch. Mm-hmm. And who knows how the sales will be over the long term, but hopefully ultimately it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to move on from City Skylines?
Ready.
That was an impassioned speech from Don.
Hell yeah, Don.
I'm going dormant for the next 12 months.
City Skylines 2.0.
This next write-in is from Beal Cleaton. Sort it out. Okay, Huber, this one's for you. Recently, just before PAX Australia, the Xbox Australia/New Zealand Twitter account tweeted, "What's your favorite song?" Ours is Silk, followed by another Hollow Knight pun in the replies. This, of course, got everyone thinking there would be some Silk song news at PAX Australia, especially since Team Cherry is an Australian studio. There was nothing whatsoever about Silk Song at this event, And the tweet was deleted a few days after it ended. Sorted out. Stop giving people hope for no reason. That's like Hubert levels looking for GTA 6 shit right now.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm defeated with Silksong at the moment. You know, I only have enough in my heart and soul to hope for one game at a time, and right now it's GTA 6.
Yeah,
so Silksong is just like, it's on timeout for me, dude. Just like whatever. Whenever you come out, if you're still coming out, Silksong.
Yes,
it'll
come out someday.
Yeah,
someday, maybe on Switch too, or what the hell it's called.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is from TJ Price. Sorted out physical media is starting to phase out beginning next year. Greetings, allies. It feels like a monkey's paw moment that we have a cataclysmic wave of content, but the price that we've had to pay was an accelerated all-digital future. At least that's what it feels like to me. As a night manager, one of my joys in my day is going into Target when they open and buying myself dinner and a movie as a way to unwind from a tough day. And starting next year, I won't have that ability at Target, and Best Buy is doing the same. Even Walmart is phasing out certain physical video games starting next year. At the moment, it's only physical Xbox games, which really sucks for Xbox Series X users like myself. But Microsoft themselves is removing the disk drive from consoles. Those damn shareholders and their corporations won't even take my damn money. At least Huber understands love and respect. Yeah. Huber, how do you feel about that?
It's really depressing because we live in a society now that values consumption of this content so fast. How can we get it to you quickly? How can you consume it quickly? How can you move on to the next thing we put in front of your face quickly? You know, with physical media, like they were saying, you know, they would go get dinner and a movie or something. It just put more value on it for me psychologically, you know, taking the effort to like go to a place, get the physical thing, come home. And now it's like, you know, I'm guilty of it too, just like burning through things too quickly. It makes it feel a little more disposable. It's like, you know, you wait for a video game for 5 years and you fucking just blast through it in a weekend or something. Or like, you know, obviously too with like Netflix and movies and shows, you know, like, you know, Damiani and I all are on the opposite sides. Like he likes to binge things, which is cool. But just for me personally, you know, I like to try and savor things, and I feel like it's getting harder and harder, and this is another step against savoring things, you know, just all digital, all consuming, cataclysmic wave of content, for sure.
Yeah, all consuming. All right, now it's time for Keep It Up. The opposite, dude, positive stuff. Who's doing well right now? Who's doing good work right now, my friends? Who out there?
Keep it up, Nintendo. Keep making the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, our perpetual keep it up, Nintendo.
Sure.
Yep.
Keep it up.
Keep it up and sort it out.
Capcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got many sorted outs for you, Nintendo. But yes, keep it up.
Keep it up, my Clive Rossfield fans out there, my Ben Starr fans. Straight up, the best fucking performance of the year. Give Ben Starr all the awards right now, or I'm walking out, dude. I'm walking out of wherever I'm standing. I'm walking out.
Yeah, I'm protesting. I'm protesting Keeley.
Straight up. So keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep it up, Ben.
Ben Starr fans.
Ben Starr fans specifically.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Damiani, you got one besides Nintendo?
Those are good ones. And to give another like voice actor shout out, even though it wasn't like this week, it was like 2 weeks ago, to Matt Mercer getting the voice of Vincent Valentine. Yeah. You know, getting a lifelong like these dream roles. So he said he always wanted to be like Ganon. He wanted to be in like the whole anecdote about auditioning for Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then getting only a background voice, and then having them come back and audition for Rebirth, and the way they trolled him, like they brought him in and had him like read, and then they did the glitch thing, and then they like revealed it was like Vincent. So it's like, Yeah, like that. I mean, they clearly they really wanted this role, and they finally got it. And now getting to like join this like crew, like that's
he's totally gonna lead the intergrade Vincent Valentine game for sure. He's gonna be the star of that thing.
If they do that, yeah, I don't know.
They're doing it, dude. They're doing it.
Dirge of Cerberus remake. And we got Grace. We're getting all of them. I mean, we got to get Dirge at some point, right?
Yeah,
definitely. You throw it in that middle game.
I gotta keep it up, but we're gonna save it for later.
Great.
Okay.
We're gonna save it for later.
Sure.
Okay, this is from Brian Grace. Keep it up. Halo. Hello, Bradley.
Yeah, this new season.
Huber of Hype and King Damiani. You may remember months ago, 343 was part of the first wave of unfortunate layoffs that has plagued the industry throughout this tumultuous year.
Such
While
bullshit.
sad every time this happens, with this came much needed leadership restructuring. Also, people that fixed and added on the Master Chief Collection have been moved over to Infinite. Since then, there has been better and more frequent updates and additions, shorter times between sessions, and more mini events in between those seasons. More maps with rotating weekly playlists. Forge is bigger than it's ever been. The Spartan Armor drip has been amazing. Even the Halo World Championship on Twitch had some of the highest viewership. It'll never be the King of the Mountain like it was. I'm just thrilled to see one of my favorite series of such a strong upward trajectory. Halo, keep it up.
Yes,
Yeah,
I heard this season. I believe it's season 5, maybe. I heard this season is the best it's ever been. Now's the time. Now's the time to jump back into Halo Infinite if if you've been itching or if you're feeling the itch. Definitely. I've heard nothing but great things this season. Just launched like a week or so ago.
Good to hear. I feel like I've been very skeptical in the past, but it's good to hear that they're on an upward trajectory.
All right, this is from Tef. Keep it up. Blizzard is listening to the fans about fixing Diablo 4 seasonal content. Compared to Diablo 3 post-game support, which realistically didn't fix anything up until Reaper of Souls expansion, Diablo 4 is on track to be in a much better state before the first expansion. Also, welcome back Chris Metzen to hopefully steer the ship of Warcraft.
Definitely.
Yeah,
same thing with Halo, dude. This season 2 now for Diablo launched last week. Vampires, great timing with the holiday season, and tons of quality of life improvements, like an insane amount. Like this is actually now the launch of Diablo 4. As frustrating as that is, it really is now. They made leveling 40% faster. Your mount handles better. There's more loot. Just top to bottom quality of life improvements. So if you've been putting Diablo 4 off, now is a good time to go back into that one too.
Now's a good time.
Yeah.
All right, our final one is from Nimbat. Keep it up, Insomniac Games. They are one of my favorite game studios since the PS2 days. Going Commando is one of the greats and are a highlight of the PS5 at this point. They make games that run well and have a lot of options and tweakability while making heavy use of new tech like ray tracing and the PS5 SSD in a surprisingly short time frame, while apparently being one of the better studios to work for crunch and culture-wise, or at least they hopefully still are. I guess at the core, just keep making fun games above all else. It's why they have always done. It's what they have always done best. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, Nimbat. Insomniac's insane.
One of the best of all time.
They are absolutely insane.
And the best thing is too is unlike a lot of these other Sony studios, they don't abandon their fucking IPs at the expense of another. So I mean, Resistance. It's been a while, but Ratchet and Clank still going strong, even with Spider-Man and Wolverine in the pipeline. It's like, dude, Ratchet still getting love there. Obviously, we could use another Resistance, but like, you look at Naughty Dog and it's like, dude, are they ever going to make another Jack or even Uncharted for that matter? Like, so pretty, people have talked about how a different studio might take over Uncharted, like Blue Point or something. And, so yeah, so Insomniac not forsaking their past franchises and releasing A+ quality on a yearly basis. Truly, dude, keep it up.
All right, we got some shout outs as always to our most generous patrons on patreon.com/easyallies. You can join us over there and support us. We greatly appreciate it. This episode, we got Jabbawabs, Elthanas, Greg TheDarkKnight Kettering, and Miguel. Shout out. Thank you very much, everybody. All right.
Hey, Castlevania Nocturne, dude. Keep it up.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it up, Brad.
Keep it
Keep it up. Yep, I made that show.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Congrats, Brad.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Invite us to your Comic-Con panel.
Yeah. All right, Damiani, Detective Pikachu returns. You've been playing. It's on the Switch now. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it came out beginning of October. It is something I've been playing in the background between all these damn games coming out.
It's your GTA 5?
It is I am moving at it feels like a snail's pace because it's not a long game. Like I actually looked up, like it's about like a 12-ish to 15-hour game, but it is it's a game that's styled more like a visual novel. So it demands, excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze. It demands a lot of focus on paying attention to the story because you are detectives. You have to interview and ask questions, retain that information. There's a whole system where it is retained for you. It is very simple, so it's not like there's no real like puzzles. It's like basically you just got to have the right information, then you can proceed. So you just had to interact with a certain spot, or interact with a certain character. You get the information. The game will be like, okay, it's time to move on in the investigation. You've got enough information. You can like figure out an answer and move on to the next point. And it is it's just a slow-paced game, but it is, if you're not familiar with Detective Pikachu, I mean, you could have just seen the movie, but there was a game before this that...
Is it Ryan Reynolds in the movie?
Yes, Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu in the movie.
Is he in any of the games at all?
No.
Okay.
The game does make an acknowledgement of the movie. They joke that it is the film, our film, the real world, human world version film, is an adaptation of the first game's events. So like it's like a loose adaptation, and they kind of make fun of it. They're like, because the main character Tim has a mother and sister as well, and the father, obviously Harry. But like the sister's like not anywhere, I think, in the movie, and they're like, I wasn't even in the movie or whatever they say. Like, so they kind of joke about how it's unrealistic and stuff. So that's kind of like one of the fun, quirky things they have in the game. But the game, it's not like extremely compelling story, but like it's engrossing enough that I'm kind of not hating it. I'm actually kind of liking it. A lot of the buzz around the review, because we don't get these games early, we get them at release. So I saw a lot of the reviews for this game, and they were like, "Man, this game is not good. It's it's got problems. It's like blah blah blah. Was barely like a swimming in sevens game." And I'm like, that's kind of like stinks. But you know what? Like I'll try it out. And honestly, this is a good example of like maybe not like listening to other people and just like playing and forming your own opinion. Like to me,
philosophy.
It's easily a swimming in sevens game. Like it's no worse than a swimming in sevens. Like I think it is worth playing. I think it's short. I think it is good to play in like small chunks. It does a very good job of keeping you up to date, so you don't feel lost if you walk away for a day or two. And it is a very self-confined game in terms of you are investigating these things that are going on in Rhyme City. So it takes place in a like metropolitan area, but you're confined to small spaces. If anything, the game's issues are that it's a very simple game. It's not very complex. The visuals aren't the best. This does feel like a high-end like PS3 era game. At best. I mean, it's not even taxing the Switch. But at the same time, I will say I do agree with the sentiment that this is one of the few rare opportunities where Pokemon are alongside you at their proper proportions. So you'll see how big an actual Pokemon is to human beings. And they're interacting with human beings on like a normal daily basis. So it is like a little bit more... it's going in the more realistic direction than like the mainline entries where like Pokemon are just generally there, or they aren't the right size, or the older games, like they all look about like the same. They had because they only had a finite space to take up. And you don't have to worry about like catching. There's no battling. There's no catching Pokemon. It is literally you and Detective Pikachu going up to people and talking to them, looking for clues. There are a few like interactive elements, like there's a part where Pikachu needs to climb up something, and you gotta mash A so he doesn't fall down, and that's like the extent of anything in this game, other than like manually. You're just doing a lot of walking around, talking. A lot of it is VO'd. I mean, I'd say about like over a third of the game is VO'd.
It's legit.
So you have voice acting in this game. And they come at good moments. It's a little bit more of an old style, like, oh, I solved this. Let's get like a little bit of like cool spoken dialogue to, reinvigorate my interest in this. And they're broken in into cases. So like I think I'm on case 4 right now. I think there's 5 total cases, but they do have an overarching like connection to each other. The first one is you're investigating a jewel robbery at this mansion, and so you're trying to figure out who did it. And how it works is you can talk to humans as Tim. You're this young kid named Tim. He's the hero of the first game. He solved these crimes, so he is a established detective, and he's working alongside the police. And you have Detective Pikachu, who also can talk with you, and you understand them, but no one else can understand Pikachu. It's like the movie. It sounds like Pika Pika when he stalks, but you understand them. But as Tim, you can't understand other Pokemon, but Pikachu can go talk to other Pokemon, understand what they're saying, and relay that information back to you, the player. And so there is a little bit of going back and forth between Tim and Detective Pikachu to interact with like certain Pokemon.
Is Detective Pikachu the only Pikachu in this universe?
So as far, not in the universe, but there is something in the story where they believe he is the only Pikachu in the city, but then something happens where they think there might be another Pikachu. Whoa. That's a point of the third major case in there. Yeah, a little bit of a twist there. But there are parts where you do like another interactive part is you ride Growlithe at one point, the dog Pokemon, and he can sniff scents, and you got to track down things like that. Later on, you ride starts with a D, the big abominable snowman looking Pokemon, and it's like just punches through boulders and stuff because you got to clear a path. There's also like a lot of stealth parts where you got to like dodge, not be seen by things, and if you fail, you just go like to the start of like a little checkpoint. Like it's not like this game is not meant to be stressful. It's meant to be very stress-free, very relaxing, more of like just like enjoying a good tale being told to you. And that's kind of like it. Like you get to walk around like little chunks of the city. It's very small and segmented. Like there's a lot of loading. It's forced perspective. You're looking like forward into the city. So like if you come towards the camera, you'll eventually hit like an invisible wall. But like there's like you can walk into the city. So that's what I mean by it's very simple and limited. And honestly, yeah, like it's just a fun little cozy game. Like I was actually surprised that I'm like kind of enjoying it. Yeah,
dude.
I know there's a lot of games right now, and it's not probably the most optimal time, but like maybe over this holiday break, if you're looking for a short, very relaxing game to play on the go, I think this might be something worth considering.
I'm more interested in this than a real Pokemon game, Damiani. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie either. I'm like, that's probably why I'm liking this, because I'm so tired of playing traditional Pokemon games that this is just a spin-off that feels different. Honestly, I want this to be like a movie or a show. I'm like, man, I just wish I could like watch this. But like the interactive element is kind of nice, like walking through the environments. Like there's a little bit to it. It could definitely use more though. I think there's definitely a lot more they can do with this concept. And from what I understand as someone who didn't play the first game, this is very iterative. We just talked about this, but this might be a case where they needed to do more than just iterate on this. They needed to maybe take some swings with this game.
I see. Garrett Holfish wrote in, Detective Pikachu Returns has given me the vibes I was looking for. Is it too easy? Yes. But when Pikachu is chowing down some mac and cheese or describing a cup of coffee, I'm happier than can be. Also, I absolutely love that Tim Goodman's sister straight up asks why she and the mom weren't in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a joke.
Funny.
Yeah.
It just sounds like there's some jolly times to be had here. Not very in depth with the gameplay or anything like that, but if you're cool with just being in this world, I guess, and going along for the ride, there's some fun to be had.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu loves coffee. There's a cafe he likes going to. He's a frequent visitor of that.
Sojiro.
He there's a whole thing about fresh, brewing and fresh brews and stuff. They get into that.
They
a
played
little
Persona.
Bit. Yeah.
They played.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
Yeah.
Nice, Damiani. Sounds cool. But
You
now,
think
Dami,
Persona 6 will be out before or after Silk Song, Brad?
After. I think so. We haven't even seen like a hint of Persona 6 yet. Not even a whiff.
One last thing I do want to say about TCP2. Some of the themes do get a little dark. Like
They played Persona.
They do get a little bit like there's one thing I just did.
It's
like
Psyduck gets strangled to death or something.
Well, I mean, there's something about like their people are controlling Pokemon against their will at one point, making them do crimes and stuff. And
I knew I was interested in this game. Holy shit.
There's also like
Blastoise using like a shotgun to murder someone. Actually, whoa.
Fuck.
they have Idleon, the water Pokemon, who can like spray water. Like they're meant for like watering flowers, but they're like accused of like just shooting up this plant shop and like destroying it all or something.
Wow,
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's a jailbreak sequence too.
Dude.
Yeah,
Snorlax, dude, the muscle.
yeah. It's too slow,
Machamp.
maybe though.
Yeah.
Machamp, there you go. That's the fucking muscle.
Yeah.
there's a Machamp.
All right,
Hell yeah.
Damiani, it's time, dude. Your favorite thing, man. You've been waiting. We got some more info. Final Fantasy 14 London Fan Fest happened this past weekend. We learned a lot more about Dawn Trail. Why don't you let us know?
Sure.
What showed up here?
Definitely was some Brad bait in this too. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Do you think Clive will show up in 14 sooner than later?
Stop. Here we go. So,
Okay.
All right. This is the second Fan Fest. For those of you who aren't familiar, if you're more like a WoW fan or another like MMO, that those places generally do like a one-off event like BlizzCon, where it's like an all and done type thing. Square Enix opts to do multiple of these types of events in the lead up to their new expansions. So we already got the North American one that Brad and I went to in July. This was the London one for Europe, and then there'll be one more in Japan and Tokyo in January. And so they break up what should honestly all be in one event into 3 events in terms of news. So this one did have some good announcements, but like it starts to stretch a little bit thin. So there are only a handful of really big announcements, and a lot of it was like retreading some old ground and getting a few new nuggets of information. So the biggest one is the first big headliner announcement was the new job reveal. A Final Fantasy XIV original called Viper.
That's fun.
Dual-wielding swords, melee class, will share its gear with Ninja, so it's a scouting class job. It does look like it was a little bit influenced from Final Fantasy IX's everyone told me it's Zidane, but like I saw content creators saying Zidane, so I'm gonna stay with Zidane. Even though Dissidia says Zidane, I don't know why are the content creators saying Zidane, but it looks like his blades and his like pose. And there's even a weapon someone screen capped and shared on social media. One of his weapons is described as being called the Viper. So there might have been some influence from there, but technically there's never been a job called Viper before. And they showed off some of its moves in action, and it's just like another melee job. And there will be one more other traditional job revealed in Japan at the Tokyo Fan Fest. That will be a caster. We know that already, but that's it. So that was like the first big announcement.
Well, hold on. The Viper, though, Damiani, putting those 2 swords together to make like the twin blade thing.
Yeah, duh.
Really
Dude,
sick.
I thought it was a Jedi at first.
Fucking Darth Maul.
Because it was glowing blades and stuff, and then yes, it takes its 2 swords, combines them together, and then it's got like a dual blade staff thing. So and they talked about
Zidane also uses and
yes, thank you for reminding me of that. So yeah, the only thing is, for people who maybe were getting excited about this, is that the job structure in this game is pretty well defined in terms of there's a defined meta too long didn't read. All jobs have to operate within a 2-minute meta window where burst happen on the 30, 60, or 2-minute cooldown windows. And all the jobs have to fit into that. So you can't have a job that radically plays different from another job because if it doesn't work within that window, it's just going to get abandoned by the community. So unfortunately, people were like, maybe this is going to play really radically different. But like, a lot of people are like, I can already tell how it's going to be just like Ninja. It's going to be a different version of Ninja or similar. Like it'll be, because they have to be. Like a lot of the healers have, like all the job classes have been losing some of their identity. So like the healers are starting to feel the same. The tanks are starting to feel the same. The melees, the casters, physical range. There's less job identity going as we've been moving forward. And that's a concern. So while it looks flashy and nice, a lot of veterans are like, we know how this is going to play out. So that's why there's some, give and take there with this announcement about why some people weren't completely blown away by it. But it is a brand new type of job. So like that is something, and it's a sick name, Viper, dude. Like just really sick to have that type of job. Because people were convinced the melee job was a Corsair. It was going to be like a gun and a blade. And like that didn't end up happening. So
Did not happen.
Yeah.
Damiani, what about some of the other crossovers?
Sure. So they talked about the 24-person alliance raid. This is something that happens every expansion. It comes in 3 parts. It's in the odd number patches, so the 0.1, 0.3, 0.5 patch. The ones we just went through for Endwalker were an original one just for Final Fantasy XIV. It was lore important, so it was like world building stuff. But in the past, they'd done either more themed ones like after Final Fantasy, or the one they did in Shadowbringers was straight up just a Nier collaboration. So it was all themed after Nier. We've had a Final Fantasy XII Ivalice one. We've had a Final Fantasy III one. They've like definitely done some really cool stuff. But this next one was announced. They just showed the logo and what it's going to be about. It's called Echoes of Vana'diel. So it is Final Fantasy XI themed.
Yes.
So
that is my keep it. That's my keep it up, dude. That is the best possible outcome for me.
That rules.
Like the best possible thing for me.
It's time for Brad to take me through. Brad's going to be leading the way on those. Calling out all this stuff.
We did it. Final Fantasy XI boomers. We've made it.
That's really awesome.
Validated. So I cannot wait to go through that shit.
So cool.
So that was one of their big new content announcements. We didn't get to see it in action. We're probably going to have to wait a little while. They usually don't show those until right before its release. So we'll get some concept art, but like it'll be probably like if it's coming out in summer, it's probably fall of next year. So like we're a year away from like probably seeing it in action, or a little less than a year. Yeah. So kind of a bummer on that, but also very exciting to look forward to. We knew this was coming. They announced the Fall Guys collaboration. We finally got to see how it's going to look in 14, how it's going to work, and it looks phenomenal. Nice. It's like a 24-person reach the end goal thing. It's got a few of the courses. Some of them are like to pick up the gems and put them into your like base, and like
so cool.
The only thing that's it's all like 14 AoE and mechanics. There is no collision. You don't bump into people. It doesn't seem like you can bump people off. So people are wondering if that was going to be a dynamic, but there does look like there's hazards and possibly abilities that you'll be able to use along with like
a force push or something.
Yeah, ability. We'll have to see about that. So there were definitely like status effects going out and making things kind of crazy. The one kind of caveat about this is it does drop on Halloween. Drops next Tuesday. They said it's going to be in a rotation where it's like limited time that it's available. Then it'll go away, then come back. And there is some confusion. We'll probably learn in a few days what that actually means. Some people, because it's in Gold Saucer. Gold Saucer rotates events every 20 minutes. It either means that or possibly like it'll be up for a week, then it'll go away for a week.
Yeah.
Come back. Like, we don't know. And we got to figure that out. So hopefully it's not too restrictive. Also, we haven't been told if this is going to be in the game forever or if it's going to be removed at some point permanently. So we're still waiting on that. The last probably big announcements. I didn't expect this to be here because I thought it was going to be probably for the next expansion. We finally got the confirmation of your boy Clive coming to Final Fantasy
He's in
14.
there?
Final Fantasy 16, 14 crossover event is happening.
Dude.
Sometime before the release of Dawn Trail, you will be fighting alongside Clive, fighting Ifrit.
Dude.
Gonna get some cool ass rewards. You're gonna get a Torgal mount. Ride Torgal,
hell.
pet Torgal.
What?
Little pup Torgal minion.
That's badass.
And you get Clive's outfit.
Dude. Shirt
Yeah.
unbuttoned?
Yep, shirt unbuttoned.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
flexing that chest.
Sell
of
it,
course.
dude.
And it is the Ifrit from 16's model. And the one part did show the two Ifrits fighting each other. So while it looked like you were just fighting alongside Clive, we don't know if maybe you control Ifrit or something like that. We'll have to see. They did warn that they don't really want to spoil this for anyone. The 16 for newcomers.
Yeah.
So I don't
Because they
think-
want you to buy it.
Yeah, they don't. They're probably not going too heavy into anything else other than like Clive Ifrit, and like that's it.
Yeah.
That's probably all we're
Yeah,
getting.
I think
They
that's
didn't
what it'll be.
show any other outfits, so people are like, "Are we getting a Jill outfit? Are we getting a?" Like,
I love Jill's outfit.
so they do usually
Favorite
put those in the
outfit.
trailers, but there's still time. This isn't coming out till sometime between now and Dawn Trail next summer, and it sounds like it'll probably be next year. So there might be still putting some finishing touches on it. And we also didn't see the other end of the collaboration. What from Final Fantasy 14 will be in Final Fantasy 16. So they generally do that. Like 15, if you remember, they switched the like Garuda fights or whatever. Like they put like in 14 you could use Warp Strike in a fight against Garuda, and he could get the Regalia mount. That was
Dude,
that
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
sick. And he could get like Noctis's outfit and stuff. Yeah.
Anthony, go ahead, Damiani.
The only one other small thing I would
You
say.
mean you meant Yozora, right?
Yuzora, yes, I
Yeah,
meant
yeah.
Yuzora, sorry. They did announce another job, but it is something called a limited job. They didn't say what it is, but they said a new limited job is coming. Currently in the game, there's one limited job called Blue Mage. It has an independent leveling system. It like you learn skills by going out into the world and like learning them from enemies. And while while you can party up with other people and enter content, it is restrictive. They can't queue in like with randoms. So they can't queue into any content as a random by themselves as a blue mage. They must have a party already formed. A pre-formed has to be formed from them to go into certain content. Otherwise, they just won't. You can't queue up for it. So you can't do the duty queue system. They also restricted from like a lot of other types of content. They can't do PvP. They can't do this thing called Deep Dungeon, which is like a challenge content, which people think would make perfect sense for something completely. And they also can't do the hardest fights in the game, the ultimates. They're like locked out from doing those. So it is labeled as a solo focused content. And there are a lot of people are like concerned that maybe we don't need another one of these right now, when a lot of people, myself included, are saying, well, I think there's so much to do in this game. There's too much. But going forward, the best type of content they could add is community content, stuff that involves large groups of people. And this is not that. And I also think it's like so isolated, it can't really play with the other jobs in most things, that it seems like a confusing decision to me. I thought they would never do this. So that was the one shocking, kind of personally disappointing thing. I was like, I'm not really probably going to be into that. I'll still wait and see what it is. But they did say there's a lifestyle content coming. Like I think I showed you like the island thing that's in there. They're doing something else similar, but that is going to be community driven, because the island thing's kind of isolated right now. You can't really play it with other people. They can come look at it, but they can't interact. This next thing they're planning to do is going to be community content. So that was like a good announcement. Those were all like the big announcements. Yeah.
Sick.
Anthony Galvin wrote in, question for Damiani. This FanFest, they announced Viper as the new job, which shows inspiration from Zidane from 9. However, prior to the FanFest, so many people were guessing Corsair. In the past, Yoshi P said he wanted to start creating new jobs that were Final Fantasy inspired, but not necessarily directly tied to classic jobs from the previous games in the series. So it surprises me that so many people keep guessing jobs that previously showed up on the series as their only option, knowing the hint for the next job is the TMNT gang, and it's a caster. Has your opinion of what the job will be once it's revealed changed? Also, what in your opinion of the new limited job, or what's your opinion of the new limited job? I personally hope it is the chemist, and you go into specific areas or need certain animal parts to make insane attacks, like Riku did in 10. Love and respect.
I already gave my thoughts on the limited job. It's
Yes.
just it's something I'm not really looking forward to. There's numerous issues I have with Blue Mage right now. Blue Mage has just been on me for a downward trajectory. It's become more and more abandoned content that is not really worthwhile to engage in anymore. And I'm just scared that this new limited job is going to suffer the same fate at an accelerated rate. In fact, I was kind of hoping they would announce a Blue Mage would be somehow integrated more into the normal job system somehow to be able to play with group settings more easily. And if that's something they're going to do, then sure, we can. I'm all for it. But limited job, this feels like something that doesn't feel worthwhile to me to do any more of them already. And there's other types of things I personally would like to see them spend more time on, but I mean, they're the developers, they can do what they want. For the new job, I'm totally open to and think it's very likely that the new job name will be something that does not already exist. Will be a new name, like that do a 1-2 kind of combo like that. I do see people tossing around like Green Mage, which isn't as old as some of the jobs in the series. It's like a relatively newer job. But yeah, I think it'll be something unexpected because everyone was so convinced it was a Corsair for the melee. I do expect to be surprised and be like, nope, no one guessed that. It's something they made up and it's a little bit different than we all expected, which is good because, I mean, it's nice to be surprised like that. But at the same time, as I said, the job meta, until the job meta is going to be altered or tinkered with, it's kind of hard to get too terribly excited about anything other than how the job visually looks. And does it look cool? Does the gear look cool? Do the moves look cool? Because if it look cool to play, then that's about them. Yeah, and hopefully, generally newer jobs are kind of overtuned a little bit at the gate, so people will play them. So we'll have to see.
All right, it is time for some emails. If you'd like to send an email, head over to patreon.com/easyallies. This first email is from Wooter de Haas. Here we go, Huber. You ready for this? Is Epic sending Alan Wake 2 to die? Hi, Allies. I'm a big fan of Alan Wake and Remedy fan in general, and I'm obviously looking forward to Alan Wake 2 after the long hiatus. However, circumstances surrounding the release have me worried that the game will sell poorly. No physical release, maybe it's a vocal minority, but there's been quite a bit of pushback on the digital-only release on social media. Number 2, Epic Game Store only on PC. The Epic Game Store is not popular in the PC gaming space, to say the least, even during the pandemic. Epic Game Store barely grew in customers. Many PC gamers swear by GOG and Steam and itch.io or itch.io, and I can't really blame them because of the EGS lacks many features that the other storefront launchers provided. Number 3, the release window. The game is releasing a very busy period for gaming in general. I hope that the release close to Halloween will attract some customers looking for a horror experience, but with other games in the same release window are more prolific, which leads to the next point. Number 4, where's the marketing from Epic? Apart from Fortnite event, and I'm not even sure whether these are big overlap between Fortnite and Alan Wake audience, I've personally not seen any kind of marketing for Alan Wake on the internet in the last couple of weeks. On their own, these might not be problematic, but combined, I do start to get worried about Alan Wake's 2 sales and extension Alan Wake's future. What are your thoughts on this?
Some good points. I'm not too concerned. It's all about expectations. I mean, I don't think Alan Wake 2 is going to be one of the best-selling games of the year, but I do think it is going to be successful. I mean, we live in a world where, and this is not shade or any disrespect, it just shows you how many people buy video games. We live in a world where Lords of the Fallen is selling 1 million copies.
Hey, Lords of the Fallen's a cool game, man.
Great game. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, dude, if Lords of the fucking Fallen can sell 1 million copies pretty much with ease,
yeah.
One of the most hyped games in a while, dude, Alan Wake 2, it's going to be fine. I think the physical thing is a bummer, but, they brought up, I went to the preview event and they brought up budget so many times. Like, they're using every single cent that they can into the game, you know? Like, this is not Sony money, but it's Sony ambition. Like, this game is ambitious as hell with what they're trying to do, and they don't have unlimited funding. So I think they're taking necessary cuts. And like, you look at physical sales, like Best Buy, like we just talked about Best Buy, like physical is almost dead. So I think that represents a very small portion of their overall sales. Epic Game Store makes sense because it's Epic. You know, I'm sure it'll go to Steam in a year, which is nice because then that brings the game, you know, I can see Halloween next year, like, hey, Alan Wake 2 now on Steam, and like that's another wave of hype and sales, and
probably some DLC for it too.
Yeah, so totally get those concerns, 100% valid, but I think they are making the right calls given the situation that they are in.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well said. Okay, this is from Jiggy Diggs. Greetings, allies. Unfortunately, I had to be admitted to the hospital after concerning health problems arose.
Shit.
I was released with no answers and a temporary fix. But fortunately for me, instead of spending my time worrying about the unknown, I was treated to a double whammy of fantastic games. Now I can spend my recovery joyfully swinging around New York or indulging on the beautifully crafted worlds of Mario Wonder. Has the panel ever had a game released at a perfect time during a period of sickness or injury? If not, is there a game you go to when you're not feeling well? Love and respect, Jiggy Diggs. Dude, I distinctly remember I had a very bad cold, or like I had like a fever, and I played through Journey, dude. And I just remember being like very sick and like struggling physically to beat that game, but I made it through all the way to the end in one sitting, and it was worth it. But I just remember like struggling to get through that game.
Yeah,
because you know the person's running around. I'm like, oh shit, man, I gotta keep up, dude.
Yeah,
I played through Village after getting the second of the 2-part COVID shot. Back the first ones.
Yeah.
So that hit me pretty hard. So like I was like streaming through that, but I was like that, like the headache and like everything, but I was like it's how Ethan feels right now. I'm going through like the misery and stuff.
Yeah.
I was also like streaming too, so I was like, oh man, like it did take a toll on me though, but like having like such a good game that you're like so looking forward to. It's like I'm fighting through the pain. I want to see some more of it. But I'd like take the day after off after that. I was like, I can't handle it. It's too much.
Yeah, I can't really think of any.
Yeah,
I just know I wasn't feeling well like a couple years ago because of life shit. So I booted up Sekiro.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to take my mind off things, you know? So
Sekiro.
that was like the last game that really like therapeutically nourished me.
Absolutely. All right. Hopefully get better, Jiggy Diggs, man.
Yeah.
Hope for the best for you.
Straight up.
All right. This is from LEL. Hey, allies. I have some confessions to make. I'm ashamed to admit that I have saved scummed while playing Baldur's Gate 3. I use Spectres, the AI companions in Lies of P, to get past some of the bosses. And lastly, my most terrible confession. Despite loving RE4 Remake, I actually prefer the story and the characters of the original. Reviled, having gotten that off my chest, it's now your turn, allies. What are some of your gaming confessions? Love and respect. Whoa.
Gaming
A lot of heavy confessions in here, dude. A lot of
I
heavy
know
confessions in here.
Yeah. And you don't even need to confess. You play how you want to play.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it was
Like, I am completely on the flip side. I don't save scum. But if you save scum, like, dude, feel free. Fly free. Live and let live.
Free.
Yeah.
What was
Buy
it?
free.
Yeah.
What was the game? I can't remember. There was a game where you advance through something if you failed it or whatever.
That's a confession. That's a confession.
There was like one. There was one part in one game that I was like, this part. I like didn't like the part, and I'm like, I'm just gonna skip this part because it was available.
Was it Lords of Shadow?
No,
Was it
it
Lords of
wasn't
Shadow?
that. It wasn't a Souls game.
I skipped some shit in Lords of Shadow. I remember there's like some chess puzzle, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing this chess game. Skip.
I feel like it was a Nintendo game of some kind. I was like in like a part. I'm like, I'm just gonna like move on past this. It's cool.
Confession is on non-main quests. I'll like advance the dialogue.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the times I'll advance it. I'll read ahead, advance, advance. You know, if it's not a main quest, I let it go. But like even in Final Fantasy 16, you know, if it was like some random shit, like
I don't blame you.
you know,
Some of those are just throwaway.
okay, skip, okay.
Yeah, 14. Crafter, gatherer, quest line, like skip cutscene, skip mash everything. I'm like, nah, I don't care about this. Let's go. I don't want to hear about the crafter gatherer storylines.
Skip it. Yeah, I don't really know anything about like confessions, you know. We're pretty open about how we feel about everything.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, there are no rules. You play how you want to play.
No rules.
You know.
Yeah. All right, time for our last question from Brandon Kagan. Hello, everyone. This is a bit of a story, so apologies for the length. Last week, I made a heartbreaking discovery. After not getting the newest issues of Game Informer the last couple of months, I decided to call the helpline to find out what happened.
You know, I haven't got mine either.
Only to find out that not only was I not notified my subscription elapsed in August without any heads up by the way of a sticker on my last issue or an email letting me know it was coming due, but a new policy became effective this past June.
What?
While GameStop does still sell you or still allow you to buy individual physical issues in stores, they are now only offering the digital editions for the magazine for the yearly subscription.
Dude!
And they increased the price from $20 to $25 for the year. While the price increase isn't a deal breaker for me, not mailing the physical copies is. Not only because I prefer physical media and own the issues in perpetuity, but also back in 2011, something happened with my subscription that switched it to digital that year. And because of that, I have lost access to roughly 10 issues. Because of this, my many years-long membership of being subscribed to Game Informer has come to an end, much to my great dismay. This is another example of the digital age wiping out physical media. It has me pondering, what are your current feelings on gaming magazines in general, both at the height of their popularity and circulation, and what are they now? Do you feel physical print still has a place in today's world, especially in the monthly moments and time magazines provide? Or, much like so many YouTube videos, social media posts, and similar content, is the one and done use case nature of artifacts or articles, features, reviews, and etc. are forever doomed to be lost to time, where if you don't happen to see/read it as it happens, there's an exponentially decreasing chance of being enjoyed again. Thanks, Alex, for taking my submission. If you do, stay easy, fellow allies. Huber, you're PC or gaming
PC gamer, still
collector.
get it. Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, I was getting Game Informer. I haven't gotten it in a couple months. That makes sense. Shit. Yeah, this bums me out. Again, it's like, for me, it's about like physical and non-binging. You know, it's the same philosophy here of like, you get a magazine, you open it up, and you fucking sit there and you read it actually. You know, you pay attention and you sit there and you read it, and it has more power, for me at least, you know?
Right, I understand that.
Yeah, and I just feel like that has gone away in favor of social media posts. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, way faster, way shorter, less nuance. Like, PC Gamer does some of the best features every month, and like, you know, that stuff still exists on the internet, but a lot of gaming discussion is on like YouTube comments and, you know, Facebook and Twitter. And I just don't think like there's value there, but I don't think it's as valuable as like long form nuance. I don't know. It's my hot take on it.
Yeah, I totally get that. What about you, Damiani? You got any thoughts?
Yeah, there were a lot of stuff thrown out there in that story. I don't know if all necessarily like connected in my brain. The things I will address is that there is definitely something about having like the physical print stuff, like being able to like flip pages and stuff. Like it's just like right there. Technically for some people it's easier. It's like it's more accessible. It's just right there. But on the end. Sometimes there isn't stuff that isn't always. There's some stuff that is lost by digitizing some of these things. Like it isn't like there's something you said about tactile contact, but also just something that could be gimmicks or weird things that just don't translate into a digital format that the physical version has. On the flip side, I definitely see how like magazines, like they are very like the ones I've had, like, you know, they're hard to keep in good condition, especially the more you have. Like they just are always at risk of being damaged and then like maybe like lose a page or
it's slower,
a word,
of course.
or it fades or something. So for me, written stuff has always been like the most perfect for being digitized to give it as many types of ways to back up. And so for magazines, while I did love the days of getting like Nintendo Power, EGM, Next Gen, a few like Game Informer, like it was always fun to get those. I'm okay with them going away because I do think they were fighting a losing battle. Like they were a novelty. Sure. They're something that I feel like if you want to be a patron and support them, that's who they're for a smaller audience. But it's very difficult for them to compete with the immediacy of online.
Do you guys ever feel though like online discourse, people just say the exact same thing over and over again, just generic shit like Spider-Man 2 is an incredible open world game with awesome movement and great combat. Like that, because social media, that's all you can fit in your tweet. It's so fast and it's like I don't like that we're at with that.
Well, you're talking about that. I don't even I don't like that's not actually what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like online publications
who still like Eurogamers
who still do articles, which is also another thing that that's now the next frontier that's in jeopardy because you're right, immediacy and reach of social media platforms is starting to render obsolete traditional online gaming publications as well. So like we already went through the print phase of like print gaming magazines are just like couldn't compete with online gaming publications because you just lost the news race. News had no business being in there anymore. And then it was up to your writers. Did you have a really talented enough imaginative writer to write features and do this work? But then like online just made that also a little bit easier. Oh, I can like keep track of my contacts and like I could put it like it just all was gravitating towards that way and the longevity of it. I mean, it was still nice to make it a print thing for novelty. So that part of it, like I like saw like that was inevitable, but like I do think there is a jeopardy of what you're talking about, like that where we're moving now is like more concerning than when print went to online. Print to online was like this is just a natural evolution. Moving to like social media takes and stuff is a little bit more concerning to me because you are losing nuance. Everyone
just says the same shit. Yeah, whether you're on one side or the other.
It's simple. It's oversimplifying things, and it's definitely you're losing the actual discussion part of it for who can shout the loudest and who can get like the most clever one-liner that burns somebody or whatever.
Everything's a meme. Everything's got to have a joke element to it.
It has nothing to do with like some validity, and it's hard to fight against that. The other part is,
I swear, if I hear about 19 inches of venom one more fucking time, dude.
Yeah. I know
it's not funny anymore.
For loss of like access, though, the one thing I will say is that there. Hopefully it keeps getting funded and doesn't get into any trouble. There's two places. There's Retro Mags, which I've like I've been a subscriber to. They don't have everything on there because people can send cease and desist. Like a lot of the foreign publications, especially Japanese publications, they kind of steer clear of because they can get a little bit more aggressive. But they pretty much have like every like Nintendo Power, and they do have like a cutoff. Like they won't add something too recent. So like Game Informer, it'll take some time. They'll probably add it eventually. And then people have tried to back stuff on archive.org, but I do know they've got hit with like some like takedowns because you don't have the right to that. They're a little bit more strict about that. So I do think that there are people that are trying to preserve those magazines in an easy format. It's just hopefully there are enough people who care about that to keep doing that. It's like the technology is there to make it very easy to do if you like have someone willing to do it. And that's always what seems to happen with these projects, these preservation projects, is that there's a group of very passionate people, and as they no longer are able to continue doing that versus funding, life, stuff getting in the way, and no one else rises up to step up to take that's where the danger is. So right now, it seems good, but who knows what in 10, 20 years, whether that stuff will even still be there. There's so many countless websites that were dedicated to archiving certain parts of things that are now either lost or you have to like do so much like Wayback Machine, like wizardry to like try and compile that stuff again. For example, there was a site called Miyamoto Shrine that had all the interviews from like Shigeru Miyamoto over the years, and then like it just went bye-bye. And the Wayback Machine only gets so many of those, and then you don't have it in the format they had, so it's like just text. So it's like, is that reliable? Was that actually what it was? We don't see the scans anymore. Like crap. Like it gets harder as time goes on for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of Frame Trap. Thank you, boys, for joining me as always.
It's
I'll
a
be back next time,
digital
chat.
world.
Yes, that's right. Digital world. I'll be back next time in person. So fear not. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Take care. Goodbye.